So you took out the book in the sewers. That's exactly what I thought. Okay, that's what I have written down. I thought it was wrong for some reason. You did all of this, gotcha. So you did all of this within the underground, right, Grin?
Yep.
It's
Okay, cool.
worrying. It's
Awesome.
worrying that
No,
this
no,
is
no,
not
that's totally
going
fine.
in.
It's what I had written down. It's just for some reason I thought that was wrong, but nope, it is
Yeah,
not wrong. Cool.
we ditched the body of Zarn somewhere in
Yep.
the somewhere in the sewer, and then at the end, I was like, "Oh, hey, Grin, your book," and then we lifted it, and he grew horns.
That is right. Okay. Yeah, so everything I have written down is correct. Good. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, can you guys see the stream?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, good. Good deal. All right, yeah, if somebody wants to do a quick recap, then we'll go ahead and start.
I can jump on it. Let me just pull the
Cool,
OneNote up.
thanks. Yep. Thanks, Kino.
Pulling it up now. Hold on. Sorry, sometimes it kicks me out. Alright, so last week the session started with Abel working through the night trying to make some special gloves. Sorry, I'm just loading it.
No
Chris,
worries.
I gotta say real
But by
quick,
the
that water
yeah,
texture
go
is
ahead.
beautiful.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
was
you
just
guys.
looking at that.
Well, you guys can actually. So here's the other thing. There was a big improvement from last session before. I'm finally doing this on the professional encoding side, so it should be 1080p now. Like the whole stream should look hopefully twice as good or much better.
Yeah, I was
But,
actually gonna say, like, I thought it was just the water, but, like, looking around,
Yeah, it
everything
looks really good.
really good right now.
yeah, so that's another big advantage that we have now is everything should be truly in 1080p and like all of it. Yeah, it should come off. There's a lot of stuff in this, like the depth of field and everything that just wasn't coming across on the stream, which is why I upgraded it. So
I can't wait till we can all play with it.
yeah, it'll be so much better. Matter of fact, what'll happen is that we'll have the stream. Like once you guys eventually have this, we'll have the stream, and that stream will be something you guys never even touch. Like everyone will be in Tailspire, which will be awesome because then it will always be live. You won't have to worry about the stupid 5 second delay and any of the other stuff. So because you'll be able to see exactly what I see as we talk. So yeah, which will be nice.
Alright, so last week the session began with Abel working through the night, crafting some ice climbing gloves for Grin for the race. The next morning, Henri and Grin went out for a brisk morning jog, and Brother and Kino and Johnny went to Dragon Beach. Kino and Brother saw off the coast of Luskin on a rocky sandbar under the docks. The skeleton of an ancient red dragon that was slain was laid to rest in this like 30-foot high sandbar that had died while after it laid siege to the city during a battle years ago. Once they got back, Kino asked the Modron about the whereabouts of her double, but the Modron said that she had not done anything of note since she left the tomb, making her current whereabouts unknown to it. She also asked what color Dragonborn she was related to, but it did not give her an answer. Once everyone was able to rendezvous at the Cutlass, we decided to scout out the sewers for the fastest possible route for Grin. We found an entire room of glowing pink and purple glyphs, which cast the spell Sleep in a 300-foot radius. Johnny was the one to deduce the effect of the glyph. Didn't know where it was centered, but was able to reach into the glyph and manipulate it so that he would be able to leave his mark on it and could possibly activate it at a later date. We continued forward and saw a party of mercenary drow and Duragar scouting the rooms in the dark, hired by Zarn, presumably to scout the rooms out to rig the race in his favor. We ended up killing Zarn, the son of a closed lord of Waterdeep, in front of his party of mercenaries. They were shocked, but we managed to talk them down from a fight, and they fled after searching his body. They cursed us out for putting them in so much danger, but They also, but we were able to talk them out of turning us in. One of the Duergar said in Undercommon that they were going back to Ten Towns, and Henri joyfully replied that we'll see them there. Grin also attuned to the book, bound in human flesh, with a wailing face on the outside, and once attuned, it turned black and spoke out to him, compelling him to keep it, and after he attuned it, he got piercing pain in his forehead as two tiny horns emerged from underneath his skin, and that's where we ended the session, in the sewers.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Hino. So this is what you guys can currently see. So within this room, there's now a open door with more runes flickering and racing on the inside of this room. Down this hallway, when it catches up, there are also runes that go all the way around, wrap around to these walls, stop, and then go up and down. So from here, you'll see when the thing catches up to this thing that I'm circling,
Did we
all the way to the other side.
Did we discuss who's controlling Eyes and Johnny?
No, but go ahead and let's do that real quick, because I honestly still think, even though we might be getting into the race, we might not. It depends. We are still going to need everybody. So, like Johnny will be still useful, and Eyes especially. So.
I can run Johnny.
Anybody mind running Eyes?
I guess I can. I don't know how to access his sheet and stuff, but
okay, well that's fine. I can also help with that. So that's fine. So we'll go through this first. So I can do his rolls.
D&D Beyond too.
Yep.
If we need the stats already.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Yep. So what you can see from the open door outside is this. It'll catch up in a second, but so basically there's this giant grating system. Like it's basically just a giant gate with grated metal that stops you from going further on the left side. There's of course a bunch of liquid. There's another one of those stone bridges as well that you can go over. And there's going to be some rooms. The door's closed on this side, so you'll have to figure that out. Also, if you can find a way over this area, there is a bridge on this side, but you have to go all the way around to get to it. This does lead back to the area that you guys were further down last time, and then there's like doors with buildings in it, presumably, and some other things. There's another door on here, so there's actually still quite a bit to explore in here. But you know that your objective, the what you came here for, and the route that you're trying to get to is behind that grading system that I'm circling, which you'll see in a second. It's in this area here.
Mm. So we have to get through the grading system?
Yep. Or find a way. You just have to find a way around it or whatever. But yeah.
This is different than the grading that was described earlier that we could probably fit through.
Absolutely. So let me show you on stream. So this is what the grading looks like. This is the new system here. For whatever reason, it's like this. But the old one is this. It's really just logs.
Okay.
Ironwood tree trunks, yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
We're gonna go inspect the grate.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, good. Yep. Go and give me your investigation roll.
Five.
Okay, well, Gren, it's made out of wood and reinforced steel. You have no idea how much force it would take to break this and put a hole in it. You're just pretty sure you couldn't do it with your bare hands, and you're pretty sure it would take you a long time to hack through with a weapon, if you could at all. Other than that, though, it's not big enough. Like, you try to put your hands through or whatever, it's just, there's no way that you could get through it.
As able, I'll walk up and kind of inspect it as well and try to figure out how it's constructed, or if I can notice any seams or
Yeah, of course. Yep. All right, go
And
for
there
it.
isn't like a locked doorway going through it at all. This is all solid wall of.
This part is all solid wall, but there are so you could walk over the bridge. Kino, here I'll get your character out here. This is what you notice. So as you walk out, you notice that so there is another one of those bridges, and then there's like a building here, which presumably could maybe find a way around it. But
So Abel gets a 25.
okay, Abel. So it's actually made. It's made very very well. They took attention to detail on where the reinforced hard points are. The reinforced so this is incredibly sturdy. Now the wood is not the wood. It's not ironwood. So this isn't like $1 million grade
Mhm.
here. However, at the same time, the way that it's reinforced, you realize that it could take days to cut this open. And the other thing that's a little puzzling is you're not really again sure why this was made. Like you get that this would obviously let the water flow through, but you have no idea why it's this way. Maybe it's to hold trash, but you're not exactly sure why this grading system is set up the way that it is. Other than the fact that it is made really, really well and will do a good job at keeping people out.
With a 25, can I tell if it looks like it's made to move, or is it fixed and built in?
Oh yeah, no, totally. It is fixed and built in. It is not made to move. Yeah, it's fixed to be there with permanency, and you can absolutely tell. You look for all the telltale signs of any ways that it would move around, but you also do not see any structurally weak points that you were hoping for that you've normally found in gates like this, especially with your expert investigation. This one doesn't seem to have weak points.
Grin, as mighty as you are, we're not getting through this. There's a way around this, not through it.
Grin kicks
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
So see, proven.
Yeah, it doesn't even move. Yeah. The one thing, the one thing that that is a bit unsettling, and after a little bit of going back and forth, there's something to do with the hard points that you do think is they're made a little too well. These hard points here, these things are made just a little too well. And even though you could normally tell if something was magic because it would have telltale signs of something unnatural, whatever. There's just something weird about all these with your 25.
Okay. I will, I guess, tinker or whatever with some of those hard points to see if maybe
Sure.
there's like a hidden catch or something.
Yeah, it'll take some time. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So, Kino, did you want to do anything while they were doing that?
I'm gonna stay on this side. I don't want to get too far from everyone else. I'm
Yep.
gonna look at Grin though and just.
I'd probably ask Eyes if he can help me look too.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm actually just gonna send Wraith through the grate to investigate over there.
Sure. Of course. Yep. Eyes is gonna come in and he'll definitely help you. And let's see. So you're gonna go through and send your familiar through. So this is what he sees. So he's able to go through the gate, and he sees there's a corridor here, and he can fly all the way here. It looks like it's at first look. It looks like it's dead end. He does fly up, but he hits the ceiling, and then there are two different ways here that he can go, and he realizes the only way that he can truly do it is to the right. And as he gets to here, he realizes that there is what looks like a lever. Well, it's actually more like a valve that goes all the way up to the top, and then he also sees that it looks like this valve, even you're familiar, going to tell this valve is connected to like a staircase. It looks like if you get to this valve and turn it, it'll like extend a staircase all the way up to the top. There's like a mechanism on the ceiling that looks like it goes to it.
Neat.
Could get across there on that bridge there anyway, but there's this great as a ladder sideways across. We need it as well.
Yep, that is true. So you do realize that it'd be pretty simple. The only thing you'd have to do is just make sure that nobody like slipped, but you could absolutely use this as a way to climb over.
There is a bridge.
Right back there.
Yep. Yeah, there's a bridge behind you.
Does Grin notice Kino staring at him?
Yeah, and Kino. So obviously the only thing that you really notice that's different with Grin is the two really small horns. They're fresh and they're still like bits of like fresh blood around the horns that form too. But Grin doesn't look any different. His mannerisms haven't changed. He doesn't look like he's like turning into a demon or anything.
I'm just so everyone knows, I'm gonna go across this bridge. All right. If anyone wants to come with, I'm gonna scout that. I'm gonna motion over to the doorway.
Yep.
Anyone cares to join me. Also, I give a piece of chalk to Eyes and say, "Oh, I know you were marking the passageway as we were going for Grin to look at, so you can continue."
Yeah, so Kino, as you get to the bridge area here, when the stream catches up, there is another valve, and it basically powers whatever this thing is.
Oh, there's a valve here.
Turn it.
Should I turn the valve?
Yes.
Might have something to do with the water level, though, which could be bad for you guys before me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually, is this water?
It looks like it. That's a good question. I mean, it definitely looks like it's water. It is a clear blue liquid, but
I'm going to reach my
you haven't.
spear down and splash it in there.
It definitely is a liquid. Your spear doesn't start to dissolve. It doesn't at least look like it's any kind of strong acidic thing. It is a tad more viscous than you expected. Meaning it's a tad thicker than you expected for water, but yeah.
Is it Brother that does alchemy?
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
This doesn't quite seem like water. What do you make of it?
I'll pull out a vial and take a sample and inspect it.
Yep. Okay. So do you bend down and just take water from the little trench here?
Just
Even
very
with holding is
not to touch it, just with the vial.
Okay. All right. So you guys see that brother scoops down. He takes some water out of the vial itself. The water does appear to, even though it looks like a clear liquid like water, it does appear different in the sense that it is a little more viscous, brother. It moves a little strangely. It seems off to you in general. So with your alchemist kit, if you want, there's a couple different things that you can do, but just let me know. Do you want to try to heat it up or distill it, or and then see if you can smell any difference? Well, I assume you don't want to taste.
My
kit
and throw it under a heat source real quick.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I assume you do not want to do the taste anything like a potion.
Oh no, I do not.
Okay, all right. Okay, so brother, that's going to take brother just a little bit to get going, but he's going to try to put a heat source on it. He's going to put paper over it, see if it dissolves upward, what he finds afterwards. While he's doing that, does anybody want to do anything?
Yeah, I'm going to take a little wind up automaton, wind it up, and just kind of drop it in the water.
Sure.
And let it, walk around or flail on the bottom when it lands or whatever.
Yep. And this is one of the ones that, what can this automaton do?
Just the one that just does really basic stuff. All it does is walk.
Okay. All right.
Like a wind up boy.
Yep. All right. So, yep. So you do wind it up. You position it to go underneath, over the little lip here to go down to the trench, and you wind it up. It does splash into the water. It sinks pretty quickly all the way down to the bottom, and it starts walking on the floor. But it doesn't look like it explodes. It doesn't look like there's any damage to it as of yet.
I'm just watching it and see if anything reacts to it, or if it starts to gum up or something weird.
Yeah, no. So far, so good. So far, it's still walking. So
Should I transform Wraith and send him in, or should we wait for Brother to be done with his investigation first?
Just rather wait for me.
Okay.
anybody want to do anything else before Brother finishes up?
I'm gonna send Wraith. I'm gonna call Wraith back, and then I'm gonna not going with his senses, but I'm just gonna send him kind of just to scout and come back if he sees anything move,
Sure.
anything humanoid or larger.
Before that encounter, I had cast see invisibility. Is that used up? It lasts for an hour.
No, you can still see invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There doesn't appear to be anything invisible in front of you so far. So, all right, Brother. So, so after you take some of the water, you heat it up. You try to distill it. You basically also do like an evaporation test. There are little particles of something unnatural after the water's been evaporated. You believe it could be something magical in nature, possibly like with a mixture like this, a chemically magical in nature. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check on the residue.
Did we throw the body into this water?
Yes.
We did. You did. Yeah.
Would we have seen any reaction?
No. No. I mean, you threw the body into the water, and it looked like it sank into the water, essentially. So, yeah.
6.
Well. So Brother looks at it. He goes through it. The only thing that he's sure of is that there's some kind of magic or magical residue within this liquid, but what it is, how it works, all that stuff so far is not something that he knows about. Brother, you can do the same samples. Yeah, you can do the same thing, and people can check to see the results. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll hand the resulting to
Nope.
Abel and have him take a look.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll study it. What would I use to do
Just
that?
Arcana. It's just Arcana in this case.
All right.
I did not. I could not. Oh wow.
Actually, sorry, I'm at disadvantage. Let me roll that again.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're at exhaustion.
Okay, so 20 is the low roll.
Okay. All right. So Abel, you're trying to figure this out, and you realize that what's probably happened is that there is a magical. So something with magical energy is either seeping into this water or is filtering or sourcing the water itself, meaning that. And you realize that magic doesn't necessarily bleed, which means that whatever has happened is that this is either a process that's meant to happen and is being done by design, or some kind of magical item or magical process or a chemical process is literally dissolving within this water. So the property, unfortunately, is not known to you, but the idea behind this is that there's three different options. Either this is simply magical water made by design underneath these sewers, or it is magic that's basically being infused with the liquid around it because some magical entity, like a magic item, somehow is breaking down and literally dissolving, or there is a magical creature that you've never even heard, you don't know of any creatures that can do this, but a very magical organic thing within the water that is slowly and utterly dissolving and leaving some of its magic and some of its effect within the water itself. But you've never heard of any kind of magical creature that can do this or affect things like this. So most likely it's not that, but it's a possibility that you're aware of.
I'll slowly kind of explain that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
What you do think is that the water now has some kind of magical property.
this an anybody with Arcana can make a check?
Yeah. If exactly. So once brothers, so here's how it would work. Brother would show this result to Abel and recreate the experiment, and then he can do that with anybody. He can say, "Look, can you tell me what this is?"
Okay.
Essentially.
I got a 24 if that helps at all.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, so the other thing that you know about this is that you believe that it is actually what looks like some kind of like purposeful magical seeding within the water. So some kind of magical effect has gone through this, and it does look like there's been some kind of a chemical process that probably was spawned originally by some kind of magic item or magical process. Again, this is very, 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 very strange to you because number one, Luskin's kind of like Luskin's not the most magical city at all, but it's also just this is just the Luskin sewer system, number one, within these ruins essentially that's connecting everything. But the other thing that's weird is that the Arcane Brotherhood, you would think if this were something that was on purpose, would have like probably locked this down, probably made sure that no one could get in here no matter what. There might even be guards, it's just very confusing.
On the walls of this sewer,
Yep.
are there suggestions of like what the water level going higher than it currently is? You know, you can see where the high tide is on rocks.
There isn't.
that kind of thing.
There definitely isn't. Yeah. No. It doesn't obviously mean that that's necessarily like. There could be a lot of different reasons for that, but there are no markings that actually say, like water level here to water level here to water level here, and there are also no markings that also say, like evacuate if you see the water. It's not. There's nothing.
And no just like natural like grime that would suggest some kind of water level change.
That is a good question. No, there doesn't actually seem to be like any mold lines or any kind of like grime or anything else where the water was at some point somewhere else.
Okay.
Does the water look clear?
It does. It does look clear. It's a bluish clear, much cleaner than your average sewer water, by the way.
And because
it looks crystal clear.
I
Yeah.
read Volo's book a while back within the tomb in the the room with like the shrunken person and the orb.
Yeah.
Jellies and the slimes. Does it seem like this has any connection to like a jelly or slime or something of that nature?
It's a really good question. The only connection that does look like there is some similarity is the fact that the water is now slightly viscous. Now, granted, Henri is saying that she believes that this is like a magical process, and if it is a chemical or whatever, it could be. I mean, it is possible that the entire, if that's the case, Kino, when you're thinking about it, you would have to imagine that would mean maybe the entirety of this water could be one large, like crazy gelatinous cube or something else. You're not exactly sure that would work or make sense when it comes to how things are like set up here, and on the other side. Here, if these really were designed to like keep it out, because obviously it wouldn't work. But it does seem to have that strange viscous like thickness. So I mean, yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
Some kind of slime or something. Yeah.
I relay that to the group.
Yeah.
I mean, we could always just identify it as well, right? If we have like a bucket of it.
Is there like a direction the water is flowing from?
So that's the weird thing. It doesn't. Here's the strange. Like this is the strange nature of the liquid itself. It's just literally very slowly pulling and sitting there. It doesn't actually seem to be flowing in any one direction or so. It's very, very calm. And again, that's weird too, because usually in a sewer system, water does have to flow because it's actually part of the city process. But this water seems incredibly calm.
Have we seen any like rats or other vermin?
He's cutting out. He'll be back in a second. He can probably hear us right
No,
now, so nobody.
sure.
Oh, there he
Can you
is.
hear me?
Yes.
I can. I can
Anyone
hear you.
who, like,
Yeah, it's very,
survival
very clean. It's
things
very
to look
clean.
for, you know,
So no
signs of them.
rats or vermin.
Correct.
Interesting.
This doesn't look like sewage.
No, it doesn't. Matter of fact, it's super clean. Like it's like crystal clear. Does not look like sewage. It doesn't even. So when you first got down into this dungeon, there was a very distinct smell of like almost like sewage and waste. But as you got into like the second room or so, that's completely disappeared. There's no more smell. Everything's been clean. There's no animals. There's no waste. Even the walls, and of course when you look down too, that's the other thing that's really kind of, it's actually kind of a nice like sight. Like when you look down, you can see all the way to the bottom, which is surprising. But then on top of that, everything looks very, very clean down there.
Should we fill up Chester's water skin with this?
Sure. Grin wants to touch it.
I mean, I'm tempted to let Grin touch it, but I'm also worried about Grin.
I would warn you against touching it.
If Brother's a trained alchemist.
Yeah.
What are you touching it gonna figure out?
I don't know. It just looks. Yeah, there's
No.
certain material that you just want to touch.
I'll just give him a pat on the head and say, I got this.
Can I get Chester's water skin out of the bag of holding?
Yep.
King is trample, I get.
Grin, if you want, I'll let you do the honors of taking the sample.
I can do that.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
All right, Grin. So just to kind of describe what you want to do.
Oh, please don't.
I want to dunk your whole hand in, please, I say.
Let the guy with the gloves and the experience handle the nasty liquid.
This is gonna be Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Chocolate River.
I'm trying to figure
Brother
out
has
the actual mechanics of taking the sample.
What's this?
Please don't.
Grin.
Well, first, go ahead and describe, because it's probably going to be dexterity, but go ahead and describe what you want to do.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what am I trying to do?
Like, if you're just trying to reach down and with the water flask and very carefully take this, I just need a dexterity check to see how dexterous Grin actually did this. Like, did he really take his time, and
I'm gonna hold
is
it,
he really careful?
Please don't.
Because the whole point is that you're trying to get this sample. Like Brother's a trained alchemist, so I'm going to give it to Brother that he can go down there and really carefully. He's going to pretend like this is like the most acidic thing on earth. But Grin basically just wants to take water from his water skin and get a sample real quick. And I imagine he's, not going to be totally careful, which is why you'll have to do the check.
I would think
Brother-
an alchemy has a syringe or something.
Yeah,
Or-
I-
It does.
do it
It
better,
does.
brother.
Yeah, it does.
I was just doing it because Kino asked me to.
I would defer to Brother, because
Oh, well,
Brother
then
has
Brother
better
do it.
judgment.
Okay. Yep. That's
Did not
fine.
realize he didn't
Let
have to do it.
Henri do it. It'll go great.
Henri's arms can't reach the water.
Rude.
Yeah, but so
Your
brother,
brother.
you can do that. There's going to be like syringes and other things that are like syringes that he can just take the water out, which is how he did it originally.
I'll put on my protective, leather gloves and
Yeah.
crack out the PPE and fill a water skin full.
Okay. Yep. And you're just putting it in the water skin with Chester.
Yeah, I'll
The Chester.
pull out Chester's water skin.
Okay.
Fill it up.
All right.
Water skin full of rum.
Yeah, you're able to do that.
Water skin full of flubber.
We didn't know it, but he was drunk the entire time.
No, but not forgotten.
All right. I know. So Kino had said he wants to go over the bridge, and he had
So we're leaving this valve alone for the time being, correct?
Yes. What am I marking this down as on my inventory?
Just say flask of viscous clear liquid. It's fine.
Thick water.
Yep.
Sewer.
Water's fine. Yeah.
I have like no voice.
So Kino, as you get over, you notice this valve here. So it's really like an exit. So this is clearly meant to dump liquid out into this area. You don't know why that exists or how it exists, but there's a similar one here, and it doesn't actually hit the water line. If you look, it's actually above it. So you really don't know what these must be, but something's looking like water could come down in this area.
Can we get that underwater view one more time? Because that would look really cool.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Yeah, there's actually a sound and everything. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Yeah, hold on. There it is.
I'm not getting actually any sound from the stream.
Hold on.
I hear it.
Okay, cool.
Like bubbles and stuff in it too.
Yep.
It's very
Yeah, it's got
worrying.
bubbles and
I can
everything.
see
That's
my
kind of cool.
Okay,
I can
cool.
just see the head of my mini from underneath the water.
The only thing I heard just now was just as soon as you went underwater, I heard the bubbles.
Yeah, that's all it was. It only lasts for a couple seconds. I'll do it one more time.
No, but I mean, like, I don't hear any, like, music in the regular part of the stream.
Oh, that's because I have it off. Yeah,
Oh,
hold
okay.
on. That's a good
I'm not
point.
getting music either.
No, that's on me.
Oh god, Cthulhu is coming.
That's the wrong one, though.
A very familiar kraken pops out of the water.
That'd be terrifying. Well, I mean, grudge
It
match.
sees us and runs.
Yeah, if we took it at level 4, we can take it at level 6.
Flex at it. What do you want?
All right. So, but Kino, you do see that door. There's very clearly a door here.
All right, I will motion over for Abel and I as the door masters
Okay.
to come over.
Um,
All right. All right, Abel. Eyes will just help you if you wanna open it. Yeah.
if he helps me, that offsets my
Correct.
tiredness and
That's exactly right. Yep. So you would just get a standard roll. That is right.
I would also, while they're doing this, I'd just like to investigate the pipe that's coming out of the wall. I just want to
Yeah.
investigate, like, does it look
course.
like there's anything in it, or
if only I could
any
smell.
like remaining liquid? Is it dripping? Does it look dry? I
Yep.
don't know. I'm just gonna stand right below it.
Okay. It is dry though. It is completely dry. There is no liquid in it. It's dark up into the pipe itself, and the pipe has like what looks like it has a metallic like interior, just like the metallic exterior. It's not red though. It's actually like a gleaming like silver. But go ahead and give me your investigation check.
The red is actually bloodstains.
So he kind of rubs his eyes and says, "I don't
Yeah.
see much here." When he rolls an 11.
Yeah, the only thing that you notice is that it's locked, and you actually can unlock this. If you want, we can do it with eyes, and I'll do advantage.
18 investigation check for Kino.
Oh, okay, so Kino, the one thing that you do notice is that this vial, whatever this is going through, you actually think that with your very high investigation check, you notice there's these small, smooth etching lines. It looks like this was acid or something. Like, it looks like this is for literally acid, because there's something truly acidic was going through this pipe. You can tell because there's all these smooth lines that actually also almost puddle in like the metallic like interior, and you're pretty sure this is acid.
I'm going to step out from underneath it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to call it brother.
Oh,
Cool.
come over.
Yeah, so brother, Kino explains this and points it to you. You look up and you're like, oh yeah, that's weird. definitely looks like something truly acidic comes out of this. So
I'm perplexed.
it's very strange because this is literally just pointing here. Like there's no, you can't even discern why this would be like this.
Hey, Honorary.
Don't.
Hmm?
No, not her.
No.
Wraith. No? Okay. I'm just saying it looks
Leave the
familiar.
bad
style.
pipe where it lies.
Going to bed?
Yeah, you can't think of any functional reason why a pipe that lets acid out would just be pointed down in this direction.
Thinking that real quick, I'm gonna do a little experiment.
I'm
Hmm.
gonna
Yep.
step away from him as he's doing this.
Yeah,
I'm
of
not
course,
gonna
yeah.
hand the pipe of acid. I'm going to
Yep.
stand on the other
Yeah, of
up
course.
by Abel.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a sample of the stuff I put in the water skin,
Yep.
and we have a vial of acid in
Yep.
the bag full.
Yep.
I'm going to don my PPE and
Yep.
put a
Yep.
couple of drops of acid into a vial full of this viscous liquid.
Okay. All right. So you do that, and not only does your little vial react here, but in like this weird like bloop and like very 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 concentrated so basically you see this entire area here react as if you just hurt a living creature, and the entire thing reacts all the way down. So basically the water jumps a bit and unsettles.
It's
But you
cold.
see it also do the same thing within your flask.
Interesting.
It's a whole slime, all of it. It's one giant gelatinous cube.
And I'm gonna pull out the Follows book as slimes and oozes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a little bit of research real quick.
sure. So here's the thing. If this truly is all one slime, it has to be older than Luskin itself. It would have to be so amazingly old that it could have grown to this size. What's also perplexing is that it it probably can't be all slime, because even gelatinous cubes, they get to a point where they're not really all that liquidy. Like this is definitely more liquid than Volo had written down, because he talks about certain properties, especially when it comes to like some of the jellies and other things. This is a little too thin. So it's strange, but if this truly is a giant gelatinous cube, it would have to be literally older than Luskin. It would. I mean, we're talking like 10,000, 20,000 years. Normally, they die before they even get that old. If this one's alive, well, it's still alive and somehow thinned out and like going through the whole thing. But yeah, it's definitely strange.
Do we want to maybe turn this lever or turn this?
There's also completely no mention of gelatinous cubes. This would be completely unprecedented. I mean, we're talking the biggest one that Volo has in his guide is actually like a mature ancient gelatinous cube, and it's 300 feet by 100 feet, which is massive. But this has it beat by a large margin. I mean,
Is
this
there a
is truly.
section for notes in this book?
Yeah, there's margins. There's margins on each page, and then there is some blank pages on the end. Yeah.
Just on one of the blank pages, I'm going to notate the details I found through my tests in back here, along with the location of where the sewer is in Luskin.
Yeah.
And the details of what I found through my alchemical research.
Sure. The other thing that's going to be interesting as well is that, so when you're reading that book and going through it, the one telltale sign of homes of oozes, royal jelly, all of them, cleanliness. And you're like, okay, that's really crazy, because all of them are clean, because what they do is they actually eat all the interiors. And if this was a truly living being, it would actually even go up the walls occasionally to eat any organic material at all, which might explain why this thing is so spotless.
The oozes typically have magical particulates to them?
No.
Do you think maybe they've somehow...
No, for definitely not. So no, if you were doing experiment on news, it wouldn't have like weave magic intermingled into it or anything like that. So something
Magic.
else is certainly going on.
Alright, so I'll recork my samples.
Yep.
And I'm not going to put it in the bag.
Okay.
I'm going to sort of double vial it, reseal it, and put it in my own bag.
Sure.
And I'm going to make sure I cork off the vial, put that back in the bag of holding acid, and
Sure.
recommend we don't let anything into this liquid.
Okay. Yep.
Sounds fair.
Do we want to maybe turn that valve over there?
Yeah.
Do you want to piss something this size off that bad?
I don't know. Maybe? Wouldn't be the first time?
You're more than welcome to do it as long as none of us are in here.
Maybe let's see what's through this door first.
I think there's other options before that, because I worry that the whole room will fill up with water or whatever that is, and I don't know how that goes. It just seems like it would be good.
Yeah, and here's what you guys are thinking through this as well. Like, okay, so now that we've put two and two together, let's say there is a massive gelatinous cube underneath Luskin. It's strange because first of all, why? But second of all, why would there be vials? Like, there's already not vials, but why would there be valves and plumbing that were down here that were actually meant to basically take out or release acidic contents? All of it's strange. It seems way too purposeful to just be random.
Now, after activating the small sample of the vial, I'm gonna will you push the body into this liquid?
You did push the body. Yeah, you dumped the body into
I'm just
it.
gonna
Yeah.
go over to the edge and just take a look at the body real quick and see if there's any reaction to the corpse.
Okay. So as you do that, you guys have taken the body over to this area here, I believe. Correct?
It's a bit of a
I
ways.
forgot where it was.
Yeah, it's right by. Yeah, I believe they wanted to make sure that it didn't like drift off, so it was like in this area here where it would be by the ironwood things. So and by the way, putting two and two together, and maybe that's why the ironwood was there. You think, but you're not sure. The other thing too is that obviously you know that this gate is also special as well, and brother, if you read through that thing, you would know that gelatinous cubes can eat through wood and metal. They certainly have the option. If they get hungry enough, if they're starving, they could totally eat through this eventually. So, but so far it doesn't look like that's the case. I mean, you can still see the gate all the way down here. Anyway, long story short, as you go back to look for the body, and you do track back, you can't seem to find it.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
Now here's the other thing. Gelatinous cubes, no matter what, they have a hard time digesting bones. They can eventually, this book explains this. So a gelatinous cube can eventually digest bones, but it takes them a long, long time. So even if it did digest things, it would probably there'd still be bones or other things there. Also, metallic armor can take up to 90 years for a gelatinous cube to fully digest, which means a lot of times they'll still spit it out if they're hiding. The other thing that the book talks about is gelatinous cubes. The way they hunt is they move slowly through dungeons and other quarters and other things, but they generally do not disguise themselves as water. What they end up doing is they become so still and so clear once they have nothing in them that it literally looks like you're walking into an empty hallway. I mean, that's how amazingly like crystal clear they can basically take their organic matter and like make sure the light doesn't reflect or whatever. But it's kind of like they're holding their breath, although the book explains this, but them holding their breath can basically be like a matter of hours. So so if it's hunting and it's basically holding its breath, it'll almost seem completely invisible. Like you will not be able to see down the hallway, and then you'll walk into a gelatinous cube and it'll literally digest you. This is very different from that. but it doesn't mean that it still couldn't be a gelatinous cube because there's other magical things going through it. Plus, it's just a massive, massive creature. I mean, if this is a creature, it is absolutely unbelievably massive. So it would be completely unprecedented.
So as I walk back, I'll just calmly explain that we don't have to worry about anyone finding the body because it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
I guess that's good. I mean, not if I wanted to be in the water, but
I don't think this is water.
I think it's water.
liquid, fluid. Yeah, I shouldn't call it water. That will make people think the wrong things. I'll call it fluid.
Like Ghostbusters 2 is.
Yeah, it's like I need my motorized 12-foot extendable scoop.
How's that door going?
Yeah, what was your roll? Sorry, Abel.
My roll was an 11 on it.
Oh, that's right. Yep. And that's not enough to unlock it. Like I said, we can get Ives to do it, though. Do you want to assist Ives?
Sure.
Let's see.
Got better hands than I do anyway.
He rolled an 18, which is going to be like a 20. It's fine. He's able to open the door. So Ives is able to open the door. It wasn't trapped or anything. It was a pretty hard lock, but he's still able to get it open. It does open pretty effortlessly once he's got it going, and this is what you guys see on the inside. So this is another room. It looks like this literally. So this opens up into another room where there's another door. However, there are runes in this room as well, all through this floor, the ceiling, and they're dancing around too.
Do they seem to be roughly the same runes as the other room? Like same
Completely
colors?
different runes, and they are literally prismatic coloring. So they're every single color shimmering and changing as they go in, and the runes are completely different. But there's another door here as well.
Mm-hmm. I will send my steel defender in to go in and just walk in and tap that other door.
Sure. All right. Yep. So your steel defender goes in, and he goes to open the door, and surprisingly, that door is unlocked and opened. So, do you want him to walk through it?
I want him to open it and just go back and just come back.
Sure. This is what you can see, Abel. So, more runes. You can see them glowing in this room as well. This room is also surprisingly super clean, and you can see about through that. So you just see the corner here.
Right. I'm going to enter if people are okay with that.
Yeah, sure. Take a look
And then
at
walk.
the
Yeah. Bring Johnny with you.
And I will put the steel defender in the way of the door so it hopefully can't close if possible, and then walk into that other room. Slowly.
Okay. Yeah, cool. And Johnny's going to come in too. All right. So this room has a bunch of runes as well, and it does not have like any other exit. It looks like in here. Let me show you. However, it has more
Some sort
piping.
of traction, yes.
Yeah, it has more piping here. So this pipe, and you notice this, Abel. This pipe does jut out to where this one is as well here. So this is part of the piping that's on the other wall, and it just goes into the wall here. But
Okay.
you can't see the outside of it. Yeah.
So it comes up and then it runs out there.
Yeah, but it also goes into the ground. Yeah.
I'm gonna hold my hand near it and then slowly touch it, just to sense if it's warm or hot or cold.
It's
or
neither. It's just like room temperature, but it also doesn't feel like there's any kind of moving liquid inside of it either.
no vibration or anything.
No vibration. Yeah.
I'm gonna take out like a spanner or something, tap it a few times, and just try to get a sense of what it's constructed of,
Yeah,
how
it,
thick it
it
might.
it feels like it's steel. It feels pretty thick. It feels like it's probably 3 to 4 inches to you, at least.
Okay.
It's steel. I mean, you can tell that it's hollow on the inside, but it's definitely steel, or some kind of steel-like metallic thing. Yeah, seems pretty
Okay.
sturdy though.
I'll kind of mutter those details out loud while I'm assessing it, so
Yeah.
the rest of the party's aware of
So-
basically what I said.
So Eyes notices, by the way, that's Johnny, but Eyes also notices, and he kind of points this out to you guys too with his fast perception. There's this weird kind of window, but it's made out of stone over here on this side, and it's closed, or if it even opens, but it's just really out of place because it's just like randomly here.
Would the gem be useful, do you think?
Probably. And can I also check out the first room, the glyphs within it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the room on the other side, you mean the room that you guys first discovered? There's some more rooms too that you never opened up back here, just as an FYI. But
Oh gosh, yeah, there's a lot.
there you're talking about the rooms with the glyphs in here, the prismatic glyphs. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah, so as you come in through here, and by the way, the ceilings are, these are like 20 feet, actually they're 40 feet high ceilings, so just keep that in mind, it's pretty tall in here. So yeah, go ahead and give me do you want to just go ahead and do an Arcana check? We'll see what you can try to figure out.
Yeah, does anyone, maybe Eyes or Johnny even, want to help me?
Yeah, Johnny can help you. Johnny's done this before, so he'll help you.
Alright, that's going to be a nat 20 for a
Nat
20.
20.
Awesome.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So, as you're going through, this room does interact the same exact way as the other rooms. You do have to kind of like put your signature into this, and it looks like so going through this, seeing Johnny's talking with you and explaining how his worked. You guys are able to go through and kind of like ascertain that this room looks like there are several different magical like functions within it. It's not just one. And if you want to take the time and do detect, you can probably try to figure that out. It is going to be a whole other thing. Like if you want to go ahead and try to like insert yourself in just like Johnny did, that's a whole other thing that you can try. Actually, Kino, I mean, were you going to try to do that without knowing the spell, or were you just doing this to try to figure it out?
I just want to know the spell. I don't want to leave a trace of myself here.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's fair enough. So the only thing that you get out of this is it's several different ones, but now that you've traced it, you can use Identify to figure it out. So I'll let you have that with your nat 20. So there are several different functions within this room. However, if you spend the time to do Identify, you can have them.
I look at one of the people that has Identify.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, Henri would still be way back at the gate unless you want to go get her.
Yeah, unless Abel wants to do it.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Grin's
If
gonna
you
look
ask
at
me,
his,
I'll do it. If you ask her, shoot.
I'll
Yep.
get Henri up here anyway, just because I don't want to spread out too much down here.
Sure. Yeah. So they asked for you to come on, right?
Okay, I will go with them.
Yeah, and I imagine you want to come over here too, Grin. So
yeah, he's gonna look at his
Sure.
book while they're doing their thing.
cool. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. All right. So let's see. All right. So Abel, you said you wanted to do Identify.
I'm willing to if I'm asked. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna cast or are you gonna do the ritual?
I would do the ritual unless I feel like there's a huge time component.
Okay. All right. Cool. So Abel, while he's doing that, real quick, is there anything else you guys want to do?
Did Wraith ever come back?
I'm sorry, Wraith did come back. Yeah, he's fine. He's
You didn't
back
see
here.
anything moving?
No. Nope.
Hmm. I'm actually gonna just go out to the water real quick, or the quotation marks water.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just gonna pull out the gem. I'm gonna look at it real quick through the gem.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So the only thing that you notice every now and then by looking at the gem through the water, there is no magical illusion in this. However, it does like enhance like true sight, meaning that like if there's even though it doesn't help you with your perception or anything like that, because there's a magical trace to this, you can kind of see every now and then the formations and outlines of some kind of like uh, slightly organic but very abstract like shapes within the water itself. They almost look like muscle groups and other things, but then they like coalesce into just clear liquid again. It's confusing to you. You're not really sure what you're looking at.
You said every once in a while they look like muscles?
Like muscle groups, but they're clear.
Mm.
Like for instance, individual, like organically shaped like muscles and other things, but they're still clear. They're still completely clear. It's as if like the water itself is forming into like organic structures, like muscle groups.
What a wild session to get really updated water textures for.
Yeah.
Coincidence? No running by the pool on me. Okay, then I'm going to keep the gem up and just kind of look around.
Sure.
Look at the gate, look and see if there's anything on the walls, and then just walk back to the room they're in and just keep the gem up for as long as it lasts and see if I see anything.
Yes, yeah, so you do all that, no illusions. You go into the room. This room doesn't have any illusions either. The only thing you do notice is that the window here, once you look at it through the gem, it does have a very clearly bright seam going up and down it. Not sure what that is, but there's like a very clearly, very like a bright light seam that you cannot see without the gem.
I will tell the group that. There seems to be some kind of seam running down the middle that's hidden.
Where is it?
It's right.
Window.
So on the stream, yeah, on the stream, if you can see, it's right in the window.
Does it look like it's made out of different material? Then
It still looks like it's made out of stone. No, this still looks like it's solid stone. It's a very strange looking window because it's a window that looks like it's got like a stone concave like thing into it. So it's not really a window. It looks like it was made to be one, but it's stone.
If you guys want to step back a little and add a line with it, I'll inspect it a little.
Sure. Yeah, you want to do investigation? Or do you want to do Arcana?
I would do Arcana first, I think.
Okay. Yep. Go for it.
I'll back up a little bit so I'm not right behind him as he's doing this.
Sure.
Just make sure no one's like in line with it either, if at all possible. I'm trying to do it from the side as much as I can.
No, you can do it from here. I'll let that go.
Also, take a breath before I do it.
Yep.
And I got a 15.
Okay. So the only thing that you're sure of, Abel, you can't see any of the magical energy, but you feel something as you're like putting your hands through it or whatever. It seems unnatural. It seems like it's magic. You just you can't figure it out. You don't know what it is.
I mean, I'm not certain what it is. It's energized. I can sense something, but nothing I'm familiar with. Then I will investigate it.
Oh, you know what though, Abel? I didn't realize this. You actually can't because you are still casting your ritual for identify.
Oh, okay.
That's what I forgot. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, we'll let that go, but it's fine for now. So Abel's still doing that for now. He's almost finished with identify.
What was the check?
Arcana on the stone.
Can
thing.
I do it as well? And Johnny?
Yeah, of course. Yep. Yeah, Johnny can help. All right, guys. So what do you want to do? Do you just want to like try to figure out what the magical seam is behind it with Arcana?
And there weren't any glyphs in the room right after this, correct?
So there are tons of prismatic glyphs all around this room that we're in on stream right now. So there are glyphs all over here, which is what Abel's trying to identify.
What
It's gonna
about
be an
through
18
the-
Arcana.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Kino.
What about through the room the unlocked door, the room that?
Oh, there are also glyphs in here, but so when Abel came in here, he didn't notice any glyphs. But when he left the room, he noticed that this room started to activate, but no one's been back in here. And I should have mentioned that to you, Abel. That's my bad. I'm sorry. So there weren't any visible glyphs until you walked out, and they're very faint, but there are glyphs in this room too.
If I walk in, do I still see any?
Yes. Yeah, you see very faint. Yeah, sure.
While Henri's doing her thing.
Okay, Henri. So, all right, Henri. So basically, you realize that there is some kind of magical, like, mechanism behind this that looks like it's made to like open it up and figure it out. The only thing that's weird is that it doesn't look like it's truly meant to be opened from this side. So if there is some kind of puzzle or something, you're just gonna have to spend some time trying to figure it out. You got high enough that if you really want to just focus on this and try to figure it out, you're gonna have to go through all of these stones and see if you can like move them and whatever. But it does look like there's some kind of magical puzzle here.
Okay.
But you'll have to spend some time
Yeah.
try to figure it out. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
And for me, it's 17 plus 3 is 20 for the Arcana check.
Okay. All right. So these runes are incredibly faint, and they're like a glowing white in this room. It looks like the magic that exists in this is some kind of failsafe. This is like the entirety off switch. You think this is tied to other spells as well, but you're not entirely sure if that's the case. But this does seem to be some kind of like deactivate everything room.
Good to know. I'll relay that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that room it looked to be a dead end.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anywhere way out of it. That's exactly right. So, Henri, you finally figured this out as you're going through it. So, what it is a puzzle where you have to basically move the some of these stones. It's basically the top stone here, the bottom stone on this side, and then the middle stone here. Once the stream catches up, and you have to basically do this in a way that's in succession and quick enough for it to like go through. And once you do that, once you figure it out, it probably will end up opening this window, this stone window thing.
Okay.
What would you like to do? Yeah.
I'm gonna just start ritual casting augury,
Okay. Yep.
and once that's off, the question I'm gonna ask is what will happen if we attempt to open this window?
Yeah. Okay. While she's taking the 15 minutes to do that, what are you guys going to do?
I turn to whoever has, probably brother has it. Has anyone attuned to the treasure map that we got a while back?
Which one?
Are you talking about the one that had all the magic items in it? The book that I mean, not the book, but the list that had all the magic items? Because I don't think you bought it yet. The 25,000. Yeah, I don't think that one's purchased. Yeah.
Okay, just to make sure.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm gonna stop what I'm doing and just watch Henri cast augury.
Okay. All right. If you guys want to wait, we can go through that. So as you go ahead and do that with your dragon bones, and you go ahead and get
Not
it. You do
liking that chuckle, honestly.
you do get wheel as the result for opening it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then I will attempt to we'll look around and I'll say if there's no objections, I'd like to attempt to do what I believe is the solution to the puzzle to try and open the window.
I will just check. Making sure I packed it.
Grin's just reading.
Wait, Grin's reading?
Yeah, he's reading his
Yeah,
book.
you're letting the magic people do their magic thing.
Oh, okay. Which book you reading?
You know.
His
So
demon book.
that's the only one I own.
Yeah, Grin's still back out here. Brother, you see him. He's busy with his book. Brother's back here too. I guess watching Grin read his
Yeah.
book.
I'll run in real quick and give Henri a reassuring pat on the shoulder and cast guidance.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. All right. So Henri, you go out. You're gonna solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Can I reach all the stones?
You can. You can actually reach all the stones.
Oh, thank
So
It's
yeah.
a puzzle
I mean,
for children.
yeah. You do have to. You do have to like get a little bit of help on the top one, but anybody who's close enough can help you with that. So brother, if you want to help her on the very top one. But
Yeah.
all right.
Use stepping stool.
I mean, you could also
Alright,
just reach it yourself.
So you figure out basically you're pushing the first one up, the other one you have to lift to go through, and then the last one you actually reach out into the weave to try to basically latch on to its magical signature, and that's how you are able to move the final one, which means you need it to be a mage to solve this. And it does end up opening up the window. So the window itself is open, and what that does is reveal what looks like a dead end. It's just a blank room, essentially. There doesn't seem to be any like runes or anything in this one that you can see.
I got that gem.
Yeah, I'm gonna break out the gem and use another one. Another.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sure. All right. Yeah. As you go through and look at the gem, there's an arcane gate sitting here. It's just invisible.
So it going through the window would be like teleportation.
No. So actually, you have to crawl through the window, which I can't rep because we took it out. But everyone can fit through it. And on the other side is just a blank room. But on the very end is an arcane gate.
Okay, I thought you were saying that
That's
the
actually
window
invisible.
was the gate.
Nope. No. It's back here. The arcane gate is invisible though, but it's there.
Okay. Does the ceiling look normal and the floor?
They do. They look like they're stone, and it does look normal.
Are there any scrape marks on the ground?
There's not.
Okay, then I'm gonna turn to brother and say the augury gave me a good result, so I'm feeling pretty good about this, honestly.
We don't know if this is a good result.
Wheel. It only gave me wheel for opening the window.
Yeah, you can explain. You can explain how your spell works to brother.
Oh, brother gave it to her. He knows how it works, but
Yeah.
doesn't trust the source of her information.
Right.
Ooh.
Good point.
I'm gonna poke my head out of the room and just check on Grin, because Grin's been real quiet.
I mean, technically, it only comes from an otherworldly entity. We don't know that it's Tiamat.
Anything
Yep.
that's given to you by a paladin of Tiamat,
I wait.
there's a very good chance that it's probably not good.
I mean, I've been good this whole time.
Yeah.
I've helped
You
you
almost
out.
threw her in the water.
I didn't. That's lies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Grin, do me a huge favor though. While that was all happening, in tandem, you have to make a charisma save. Just roll a DC charisma save for me.
There goes our barbarian.
I
What?
also, I would like to
4.
check on him.
Okay. All right. That's fine. All right. So you can check on Grin.
I just poke my head.
Grin's
out
just
and
back there. Grin's back there, like by himself, reading his book.
How's everything going? Just want to make sure you didn't fall in.
Yeah, just let me know when you guys are done, man.
Is everything alright out here?
Yeah, so far.
I'm trying to figure out whether it seems odd to Abel that Grin's reading, or if he's just used to everyone always reading books.
Grin can read?
Alright.
It's the only
imagine,
book he owns.
Most of our characters constantly have our noses in books, so I don't think he'd notice.
Yeah, so Grin, everything we talked about previously is enacted at this point. You failed your save, so.
Okay.
Anu's gonna go through the window.
Alright. Okay. Alright, so you climb through the window, Henri, which is easy. And you walk in, nothing happens. You're good.
Okay.
You can see the arcane gate still swirling. You don't know where it goes, but it is arcane gate.
Okay, and I did tell everybody that that's what's at the end of the hallway.
Yep.
I'm going to actually sit down on the ground, and I'm going to send Wraith through.
Alright. You are able to send Wraith through, and you can still see through Wraith afterwards, and Wraith pops out right here. Sorry, right in this location here. Your arcane gate's out. So it looks like this was actually made to get out of the entire thing. This contraption.
Sorry, my stream it still hasn't actually showed me like where it ends up. I don't know if my stream's
It's,
just being really bad.
No, it's fine. Here, I'll put a light on it.
It's across the... It's by the bridge,
yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, Henri, the only thing that's weird about this is that if somebody were to do, like, this whole thing is very perplexing in general, because Arcane Gate's not cheap. It's very expensive, very hard to, it's very hard to maintain a permanent Arcane Gate. It's pretty high-level magic, but then on top of it, somebody also went out of the way to make it invisible, only to have it land out here, which is surprising because you could have just Arcane Gated up to the city or whatever, so.
So it's an emergency exit.
Someone's funneling a lot of money down here.
I think Abel is sitting there thinking, should I just ask for a job here?
You know, I heard city jobs have good benefits.
Yeah, they're killer.
I mean, maybe a fallback plan if this adventuring thing doesn't...
Wait, no, that's just hospital.
Yeah.
I feel like I won't have an opportunity for another career if it falls through, though. Like, that's the problem with adventuring.
Yeah, fair point.
I mean, you might also be starting to think like, wow, if this is under Luskin, what's under Neverwinter? But at the same time, your common sense does tell you that this is probably just completely out of the ordinary and normal. It probably tells you that you'd be very disappointed to find what's under most of Neverwinter compared to this, but...
Alright, so last one there's a rotten egg.
Yeah, I'll go
Alright,
through.
I'll go through too.
Alright, so Henri does. She goes through. And it does... Henri, it does take you right out. It's almost like an instant thing, like you feel the rush of the... You've now experienced it a couple times. Teleportation, and it sends you right out here. Yeah, so the only thing that Grin, the only thing that the only thing that everyone's really thinking about is as much as this is truly a shortcut in getting through it, like you really have to make sure everything's kind of set up because Grin would never ever be able to open that on his own. So we just have to make sure that it stays open, number one. And then Grin's got to like run through all of this stuff, semi-dangerous with a bunch of magic running around or whatever, and he's just got to figure that out. But Grin, I mean, now granted. The other thing that you guys can do, and I'm sure you've thought about this already, is that some of you could be down here kind of to help him, because that's the thing. Like, you're not really running the race with him at that point. You're just down here as support, and you could probably get away with that. Just keep in mind, no magic. even like helping him, like even opening this door if it was reclosed would theoretically disqualify him. But that's of course if anyone saw you, you'd have to be caught.
We could also just wedge the like we could just put like a rock or something or a loose brick just to prop the door open or keep it from closing.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
Does the teleport wall work the other way?
So that's the thing. So that's a good question. But Henri, so when you get out of here, and you look back at the gym, it does not look like it lets you back the other way. There's nothing here. It looks like this is a one-way arcane gate.
I like the miniature just pounding on the wall.
Yeah. She's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Henri runs into the wall several times. This doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Chris, what did I do to hurt you? Are you that upset about the ASMR thing?
Yeah, Henri. So Henri, it is one way. Like you can't go back the other way. It's a one-way thing.
Henri's alone.
Yeah,
Right,
you
guys,
are all by
turn
yourself,
around.
Henri, which is a little unsettling in this place.
I was about to follow her through Sentinel first, so.
Yeah. And
I
obviously,
feel the
none of you would know what's going on anyway. So I imagine you do. So
I'm gonna hide around the corner.
yeah. So both of you are able to go through, and you come out the other side.
I'll go after Abel.
Yep.
And once I'm through, I'll just for the sake of it, I'll cast a blind sense.
Am I able to go through
Yep.
the gate and hide around the corner before Abel comes through?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
I want to scare him.
Yeah.
I want to scare him.
Okay.
I hear giggling when I get out.
Okay.
No, you just hear a really loud noise behind you as I jump out and try to scare you.
That would probably. I mean, this is a dangerous fucking place. Abel, you'd probably be like, "What the?" You'd probably like go to hammer somebody, to be honest. But I mean, this is not like the most like stress-free environment here with all this magic and like everything.
I mean,
else.
depending how scary it is, it might just be like cast shield.
Fourth
Yeah.
favor.
Yeah.
Rin's just
Is-
gonna hear that the room went quiet and assume that something happened.
Well, that's the other thing I was about to say. Like, brother hasn't gone over yet. Brother, do you want to try to
No, I'm just going to be sort of between the gate and Rin, just keeping an eye on him.
Okay. Yep.
Just, hey, sounds like the talking stopped. What's going on?
They're playing with an arcane gate.
Oh, cool. Are we waiting for them to come back? Or?
I suppose. I mean, we haven't heard anything.
Eyes is gonna go through too. Eyes would have gone through. All right. Well, while they're back there, what you guys see is there's so this is what the familiar had seen, Honor, and you can point this out to them. There's now a valve on this side, and this little thing is actually a very complex mechanical contraption. You can tell just by looking at it closer. There's gears and other things here. It's meant to extend upwards. This is going to extend all the way to the ceiling and create a staircase so that you can walk out. Now, on the ceiling, there is also another mechanical, and you would love this, Abel. It's like a mechanical opening. So this is by far the most complex mechanical device that's been in this entire thing. It's mostly all mechanical. There's not really any magic to this. However, what's interesting is that the valve itself, you notice, has like these runic etchings, and it's actually glowing. So you're not sure why that would be the case, but this thing here basically extends into this very large, like 40-foot staircase that also connects to a hatch that also opens mechanically. You assume once this is turned.
He's like, it's some sort of magical stairway. Can we get one for the house?
Sure.
Not certain how this works, but I want to build one. And I'll start investigating it and
Sure.
see if I can plumb its secrets at all.
Do I
Yeah,
see
go for it.
anything with
You want Arcana,
no,
investigation?
no, you don't have anything on Divine Sense, unfortunately. You pop it, but you walk around to just to make sure, but nothing.
Is this an Arcana thing or an investigation thing or something else?
Investigation. You could do investigation for this because it's mostly mechanical.
What is that? In the middle of that sort of circular pool, what's that
Yep.
hole? Does it look like a grate? Does it look like a drain?
Yeah. So
Ooh.
here, let me show you. Hold on. This is a grate. This here. You'll see it when
at
it.
the end.
Yeah, I assume you mean this one. You'll see it when it goes. This one here.
The other one. The one
Oh, gotcha.
at the very end of the, like at the dead end.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, this one here? Yeah.
Yeah, so Abel totally has stars in his eyes as he rolls a 10, trying to figure out where exactly it would fit in the house.
Yeah. I mean, Abel, the only thing you notice is it's super complex, and it does look for sure like turning that valve is gonna activate the stairway, but that's all you get from it. So it is a grate. It is a grate that actually looks like the liquid continues to go down. It certainly could be seeping out or whatever. So there's something underneath this that's also filling up the entire thing. Like you have no idea how like, first of all, hollow this is down there or whatever, but it's definitely looks like the water is seeping down. So, for instance, like there must be, and there's one over here too, by the way. I'll give that to you. It's not the only grate, but there is a grate, and it does look like the water, like it's not. It's definitely like large. The pieces in the grate are large enough that the water would have had to like basically fill up the grate underneath it as well. Which means that this is more than one level.
Grin's gonna go through the gate.
Okay. All right, Grin.
He got tired of waiting.
Yeah.
And I'll follow behind him.
Sally forth.
All right, Grin. You come out the other side too.
Is Henri still hidden?
No, I would have jumped out as soon as Abel came through and tried to scare him.
All right, brother. You come through as well, and you see everything.
I probably raise my spear tip roughly in your direction. I don't think I'd actually take a swipe at you unless you really were terrifying.
Oh, you know, Henri, just the scariest one in the group.
Well, you know, intimidation. D20s have 20s on them, so. I know I can't hit a 20, so.
So you guys see that Abel's over there trying to figure this contraption out,
Oh, well,
and you notice it. It's pretty out of place. You notice this over here too.
I mean, I look at Abel and say, this seems pretty out of place. Does this look anything more like somewhere from like where you were from? Does this really doesn't seem like Luskin? Does it?
It does seem out of place to you as well, Abel. But you don't know, or you're like, so basically you respond that you know there are amazing gnomish tinkers and other people that could have made something like this, but it seems incredibly advanced. It does seem incredibly advanced. So it is. I mean,
This is advanced like where I'm from, but this isn't my guild's work here. It is
not. However, brother, something catches your eye about this that seems familiar to you, so you can't put your finger on it. Give me a history check for you.
It's entirely made from Warforged bodies.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the other way around. Brother's made out of old Luskin pipes.
All right, brother. So what you remember is a tiny. So through, like on the actual columns of the stair here are tiny little medallions. They're literally the size of a penny, and they have a house associated with them, and but you can't actually read what the house is. It's hidden, but it's definitely a house of Eberron. and that shouldn't be here. And brother would be the only one that knows these things, by the way. So it has a house mark, but you don't know if it's canon or what. It's like meant to be obscured, but it's definitely a house mark.
If brother could go white, he would.
Yeah.
Well,
This
just
is-
very
Just
quietly
remember.
ask, Abel, could you remove one of these labels?
Which labels?
Yeah, so you can. These little medallions are almost like coins, but they're meant to. So
You could
all the
ask-
houses in Eberron will sign their work. Usually they do it with these little coins. However, if it's a secret job, or if it's a job that's meant to basically not have a signature, they will still do it. Only what they will do is they will put the little house medallion, but they will basically obscure it with something they made up, so that later, if it ever becomes super valuable or famous or whatever, in their guild ledgers back home, only brother knows this, but in their guild ledgers back home, they actually carve out the symbol so they can prove that, yep, that was our piece of machinery or whatever. This one has an obscured one. So it's definitely a house coin, a signature, and there's several of them all around, but it's a nonsense symbol that would have to be brought back to their ledgers.
Anything cool over
I
there?
mean, if I feel I can remove that, I will.
You totally can. It's just going to take you like 15 minutes or so, and it's going to be a little aggravating to you, but you can do it.
You could ask the Mojin about it too.
Yeah.
Do you actually need this, or would it just be easier to take like a pressing or rubbing or something?
When your guild does work, it always signs its work, yes?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's not supposed to contractually. Okay.
I have a hunch that these may be valuable. Remove as many as you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can. It takes around 10 minutes to remove one, and they're hard for you, Abel. They're really set in there. Yeah.
Once I get one, I'll try to figure out like if I can just kind of pull something together that would help me remove them quickly.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what you think. You think if you were down here a couple hours, you could build like basically a blowtorch system that could start really melting them out, and you could take all of them in like a couple more hours. There's like 40 that you could try to remove this way. But it's going to take time. The other way is going to be painful. 10 minutes per, you're prying it out. It's just super hard. It's super aggravating for you because it like you hurt your fingers doing it. It sucks, but you can do it. It's like 10 minutes per.
You said
Well, I will give you that estimate.
Yeah.
As many as you feel comfortable with. I don't want to spend too much time, but
Yeah.
there are trademarks. I don't know by whom yet, but we'll find out.
And like I show, there's like probably a couple scratches on or whatever. I can fix those up later on. Mending. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, while they're doing that, does anybody else want to do anything? So the stairway has not been activated yet. It's still collapsed down on the bottom.
I'm just gonna go over and just look at the grate and see if there's anything like weird, anything else weird down there. I'm just like walking around waiting.
Oh, so you can get to about here, and the other side you can get to top of the bridge and look down at the grating here. Give me a perception check just to make sure. Kino, you can give me a perception check too, since you were investigating the grate top of it. Yeah.
Five.
Okay. What about you, Kino?
21.
Kino, you don't see it on me, but Kino, there is something really, really shiny down that grate. It looks like it's a weapon, maybe a sword, but it's too far away to know for sure. But it's definitely like caught up in that grate.
I whisper that to Henri.
Yeah.
There's a really. Does it look? It just looks shiny. Does it look like
It could be
ivory?
glowing. It could even be glowing, but if it is, it's far away. It's like at
Does
least 100 feet away in that grain. You barely caught it from the glint of your eye. Like your eye like saw the glint, and now that you're focused on it, you can barely see it down there. It's pretty far down there.
does it seem like the weapon is close enough to the top of the grate that if somebody like just reached their hand in, they'd be able to get it?
Nope. No, it's like pretty far down there.
Can you
It's like maybe
send,
40, 50 feet.
Can you maybe send Wraith there?
I can try. Then I will.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'll have to ritual cast and re-summon him as a seahorse.
Yeah.
Maybe something with.
I think seahorses. Hang on. I think it's the
I
only thing
thought
that has
like
a
it-
swim speed.
What about like an octopus?
Seahorse.
Otter?
Oh no! I can also do a fish, or a frog, or a crab. Octopus is not. Oh wait, yeah, there it is. So I could
just
do.
want something grabby.
Crab's pretty grabby.
Are otters on the list?
Yeah, so the aquatic ones are crab, frog, octopus, a quipper, which is a type of fish, a
Yep.
seahorse, or a weasel.
Maybe not a weasel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say
I
octopus.
recommend the octopus personally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Octopus, okay.
As far as
Okay.
opening grates, yeah, they got a good rep.
Yeah.
Well, so the octopus will be able to squeeze through the grate. By
Okay.
the way, so. Okay.
Also, if he dies, Henri, I'll fork over the 10 gold.
I just hear brother poke up from around the corner. I give her 20.
No, I'm whispering.
All right. So, so Henri, so the octopus. So we'll go ahead and. Does anybody else want to do anything while we skip to that, and then we'll get back to you and we'll get back to your guys' thing too after this, since the 15 minutes have passed. But Henri, you go ahead and drop the octopus in. It goes down. It is able to slip through the grate really easily. It goes like literally 40 feet down to where it's the light becomes not very good visibly, except for the item is like glowing and like super like bright to the octopus. So it grabs it. It's a sword with like a you can see everything an octopus sees, right?
Yeah.
So it's a sword with a glowing gem on the inside of it. Gem is green. The sword hilt is gold. It's got like a really ornate silverish blade. And the octopus grabs it, and it goes to like basically it is able to take it. It tries to bring it up. The problem is that once it gets to the grate, it can't get the sword through the grate itself. And it's trying its best, but the sword will not go through the grate.
With the 21, does it look like the grate is removable, or is it bolted?
No, it's removable. There are definitely either places that you could pry it up, or even maybe unscrew the grate. You just have to get into the liquid, or find another way to do that.
Well, I was gonna look over and see if Abel and the Steel Defender are nearby.
Yeah, they're right here. Yeah.
By now we would have gotten.
Yeah, the Steel Defender could go down there. I would even roll that the Steel Defender, given that it's able, could take commands to try to unscrew the grate. It's going to take a bit.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah.
did
I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll put
Yeah,
a trademark
James.
in my inventory.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Yep, you have. So you definitely have one. And Abel, did you say you wanted to investigate the mechanism too?
Mechanism?
The thing that extends the piece, the valve that extends the whole staircase.
I'm interested in it, but I didn't have a tremendous amount of understanding of it.
Yeah.
And then brother said, "Hey, take these badges off." So I've been
Yeah.
working on that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yep. Yeah, so you have a badge right now, and
So,
yeah,
so
you're
I
working on
tell
the
the
next one.
defender, yeah, go get the thing.
Yeah, so he does go down there. I mean, nothing's grabbing him or doing anything to him. Uh, After another 10 minutes, you get another one, so you have two now, and he's actually able to, with his hands, he's actually able to get this grate off. So he helps move the grate. The octopus goes through, and the sword goes to basically be right here on the surface, and then as that happens, you're still defender, the octopus, both get grabbed by something very clearly, but it's the liquid itself. And then the sword kind of just like floats to the surface, surprisingly. The sword was not floating before, but the sword floats to the surface here. And whatever it was there, it grabs these two things and starts violently shaking them. Eventually, so basically your defender gets like broken into pieces, and your I'm sorry, your familiar gets dispelled. It actually gets
Like
destroyed,
immediately.
it takes like a couple seconds.
As soon
You
as I
want to
saw
dismiss
it got grab, I would have dismissed it and
Dismissed
brought
it?
it back. Yeah.
Okay, you can totally do that. But your still defender is just gonna go through and take
And,
it.
and as I notice that happening, I'll run over and mage hand the you call it, the sword off out of the water or whatever.
All
Yeah,
right,
cool.
I drop 10 gold in Honor's hand, and I spin around to Abel, and I go, I owe you a new steel defender.
Okay. Yeah, the defender's all broken.
I just need
and
a nap, and I'll put one together. I'll try to grab the parts out of there.
Also, maybe bring that sword over here.
Yep.
Yeah,
That sword
Thing. Don't know yet, but
I'm gonna look it over quickly.
Yep. Cool.
I'm not gonna touch it before Abel looks at it and maybe identifies it.
It would probably
I'm
be
gonna-
better to.
First.
With the mage hand, I'm gonna hold it in front of me first and look it over, and then I'll just lay it at Keanu's feet.
Does it look? It doesn't immediately like strike me as anything weird or like I've seen before or heard of.
No.
Is there any-
You've definitely never seen this before. It is an ornate sword with a golden pommel and a very large jewel in the middle of it.
Does it seem magical?
Oh,
It seems like it's unnatural. Yeah, I think you guys would know that it's by this point. It's something like that.
I'll take out my jeweler's loop, and what kind of gem is it?
Yeah. So that is a great question. So hold on one second.
And is there any iconography on the sword that would mean anything to me?
And what kind of sword?
Runes or whatever.
So it looks like it's a long sword. It looks like it's a long sword. You'll see, but it does look like it's a long sword. And it has an emerald in it. It's like a very large emerald.
Can I get a approximate value on that?
It's valuable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like several thousand gold. You've never seen a gem this big, emerald.
This is a rock here.
What is this? What is this sword?
I'm gonna have Wraith land on it and start casting Identify.
Okay.
Wait, did you resummon Wraith?
I dismissed it and resummoned it. Yeah.
Oh.
Before I got him out of there before he actually got dispelled.
So intrigued. So what did you guys see with the stairs?
Nothing. Good combo, you guys.
Alright, good talk. See you guys on
Meet again. Yeah, meet again next week.
Yeah.
You're in. I wave a hand in front of him.
Oh, yes.
How's the book? Is it cool? Cool stuff?
Yeah, it's great.
What, I mean, if you don't mind, what, like, is it like a fiction book? Is it like spells?
Oh, I don't know, I can't read it.
I mean, I kind of like peer over your shoulder.
He's not reading right now. He put the book away.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
I think the real answer to is it a fiction book is, I mean, some books aren't real.
yeah, some of the best ones aren't real.
All right. So at this point, as you go through, I'll give you enough time on the identify. So this is an artifact sentient item. So this is an item that will grow with you. It is not. I have to. So there is a D&D Beyond thing, but I'm customizing it greatly. You'll see why when you eventually unlock it. The identify tells you that this is a magical sword that is not from your plane of existence, and that is all it tells you, other than the fact that you gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls and damage rolls made with the sword. In addition, though, while you hold it, you can use your reaction to make 1 melee attack with it against a creature in your reach that deals damage to you on top of this. So, so essentially, what that means is that you gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with the sword, but you can also use your reaction to make 1 melee attack.
Those are
Pretty
pretty from.
The identify does. No, I looked. The identify doesn't actually tell you what plane it's from. It only tells you. It will tell you if it's from your plane of existence, and it is not.
I'm sorry, some of that cut out. Can you repeat that?
This is a sword that is not from Faerun. And right now, but you also know it's a sentient creature. It is alive, has its own will. It does have to be attuned to gather more from it, but it also has to make sure, like it does choose who it wants, kind of thing. On top of that, and it is going to have its own it's also going to have its own will. But keep in mind, it's a +1 bonus to attack rolls, and while you hold the sword, you can use your reaction to make a melee attack.
I just texted you a question, Chris.
Sure.
Man, it sucks that you just got Or's favor, so you gotta give up this one.
Hey, I'll gladly give back Or's favor. I mean, this is only a loner. I didn't plan to keep Or's favor.
Might be best for all of us to waters with it.
To what?
Yeah, sure.
What?
I can hold on to it. That's a good idea, brother.
It may not accept you.
Well,
if it's in favor, it might be for my world.
Does this appear to have any similarity to Joel Axel's sword, like in
Nothing.
maker or construction
No.
or anything?
No, nothing.
Not gold-bladed weapons, brother.
You can actually.
I don't know.
I could hold on to it as the strongest.
I don't know. You got your hands full of books, book boy.
Does the book get along with the sword?
Now, the only thing that's weird is after you identified it took a couple minutes, but after you identify it, the sword was gleaming, perfect, amazing. It had scroll work on the blade or whatever. Immediately after you identified it, after a couple minutes, the gem goes dull. The blade itself is rusted and cracked. And it's like, it looks definitely different, as if it's like almost like it's dying or something. It's very strange. However, this is going to be a +1 weapon. The identify. So the reason why the identify is unsuccessful is, number one, it's an artifact. Number two, it's sentient, which means that you're always going to have problems with it. Number three, the properties changed after it was identified, but this will currently act like a +1 weapon, even rusted and broken, essentially, and dull.
Well, stuff of visual that might have come from my world.
You can't tell. There's nothing on it that screams Eberron at all. The only thing that kind of makes sense with that is the fact that there's already something here from Eberron, but there's nothing in this sense that actually says that, or says, Eberron or anything like that.
That scroll work on the sword or like any.
Correct. Correct. It looks foreign to you. Exactly.
Well, how about I try to attune to it, since I was the one that saw it down there, and if it doesn't accept me, I'll be happy to.
Oh, it does. Identify will tell you this. Identify will tell you the nature of attunement. So the way that you have to attune to this sword is that basically you have to hold it. The sword will cut you. The sword is going to cut you. So you'll hold it. The sword will cut you, and then it decides who it wants based on DNA. Your basically your blood. Your blood will tell it if it wants you or doesn't want you. The sword will find a way to cut you no matter what, though.
Well, that sounds fun.
But,
All right. Nothing can go wrong here. So, I pick it up.
Yep.
I hold it out. Wait.
Okay, so you pick it up, you pull it out. It does 2 points of damage to you. So this is what happens. You pick up the sword, and whether the sword did it or you did it unconsciously, whatever, but as you pick it up, your thumb comes into contact with the pommel just in the right way where it accidentally cuts you. It's also deceptively sharp. This thing is rusted and broken, but it is so freaking sharp. And it basically cuts right through, it finds a space right through your gauntlet where the leather is and cuts your finger. And you bleed all over the gem and the pommel. It does glow, so the pommel itself glows, and it glows into this like the gem glows green. So do me a favor, make a charisma save first. Charisma saving throw. Just go through it.
Ha ha ha.
15.
Okay. Make an intelligence saving throw now.
Oh.
These are complex. It's not exactly what it seems like. Okay. Okay. All right. So Kino, you hear a voice in your mind, and the voice says, "Hello, strange one. My name is Answerer. What kind of weapon suits you?" You do have to answer back within. You don't answer with your voice. You just answer with your mind.
Red-headed dragon flail. Awesome.
One that does a lot of damage to my foes.
So it looks like it reaches back out into your mind and it says, "No. What kind of weapon do you use best?"
Something one-handed, so I could use a shield as well. Maybe something.
You get the instinct knowledge though that you have to give it a direct answer. It's talking telepathically, and you're reaching out to it anyway. You have to literally tell it what kind of weapon you would like. This is part of the test. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So you go through and you do that. It's silent. The gem glows, and Kino, it does look like you will have the ability to attune to this if you so choose.
Okay.
You know this instinctively. Now, you failed both your saves, so here's the other thing. If somebody wants to take the sword from you now, you're going to throw a fit. You might even fight them. I have to do another roll. So if brothers basically like, nope, it's my sword, you might actually have to use the sword against him. So just keep that in mind. No one knows this in the party, but you instinctively now, like, it's driving you crazy how much you want the sword.
Somebody going to get shanked.
I let everyone know. I said it's not a problem. It seems that.
And not only that, you don't know that you're being compelled to this, so you cannot explain this to him. Just as a heads up, it's not like when eyes like made us say, like, you have no idea. So. Yeah.
Well, it seems like the sword is able to be attuned to me, so I will hold on to it. It asked me what weapon suits me the best, and I said longsword, so that I could also hold a shield. And other than that, it seems to be fun.
Yeah. Since Kino has made the choice that he's going to attune to it, by the way, everyone sees this around you. So a shining light falls out literally from the heavens. There is no doorway, there is no portal, no anything. Literally just light hits Kyono, and then you guys see a phantom vision of the sword that looks like the sword that it is now, but it's like it's not broken. It looks like it's perfect. It basically envelops and fills his entire body, and then everyone in the entire area hears the deafening sound of Answerer. It's a very stern voice, as if the sword is announcing itself to every single person in the room, and then the light fades back. Everyone then sees a brief flash. Every single person that's in, everyone's close enough. I just double check. So everyone also sees a brief flash of a landscape and a castle city. That's like flying through it. A castle that none of you have seen before. And as that vision fades away, everyone in their mind gets the burning, like basically thought that this is the free city of Greyhawk. No one knows what that is here in this group. Besides, I think Henri has books on that, but that's what it says.
Oh,
You guys saw that too, right?
Interesting.
I think its name was Answerer.
Good luck with your first sword. Hope it serves you well, or at least doesn't kill us all immediately.
I mean,
You know, curse sometimes is a little bit of a misnomer. It's not. It's part of a bonding process, not always.
I'm pretty sure that's not a good sign.
so I look at it and I.
It could be problematic. It's not always bad.
Yeah, but who's
All right.
a little
Now,
problematic?
Kano, to understand from a meta perspective, now that you have this sword, there are going to be times that if you want to attack something, it is completely sentient. This is the downside to this weapon is that it gets to decide who it fights, and you'll find out very quickly that if it does not want to fight whatever you're fighting, the sword will literally dull itself. And if you keep attacking, it's worse than that. If you keep attacking it with the dulled version, it will literally invert the blade into the hilt where you're holding it.
Oh.
So just keep that in mind. The sword
Very
wants to
good.
attack who it wants to attack, and eventually, once it truly
Yeah.
wakes up, it'll literally be like a. You could build an entire sidekick out of this because it is literally its own thing. This is like another player essentially. So just keep all that in mind. But yeah,
Sidekick.
yeah.
Sidekick.
It is absolutely its own thing. It has its own mind. It won't even like you'll see. It's very very particular and likes what it likes and all that fun stuff. So it's as if it's a whole other player. Yeah.
Does it voice this to me, or do I just get like an innate feeling?
So what happens is you get once the gem is updated, you realize that this is a. It's as if a person is trapped in a sword, like a great hero from a long time ago, and it's fully alive. Like you think that this sword is complex emotions and everything else, just like any other person would. So
I kind of want to speak out my mind. Who do you
Yeah.
want to attack? In general.
so the sword, you get the impression the sword is still asleep and cannot answer complex questions like that, but it's going to need to fight and it's going to need to like it's going to grab its strength through battle, and once that's happened you can probably find out. For now, chances are you can just attack whatever and we'll see what happens, but once it's fully awake and once it's fully around, then you'll learn more. So
Okay. Good
Yeah.
to know.
let's test it out. Attack one of us.
No, let's not right away.
okay, that was unexpected, by the way.
Are you planning on attacking one of us later?
I feel like that something like that is happening like once a session at this point. Something unexpected.
Can I check insight while he's?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Little
Yeah. There's another cool thing about this sword, but we'll see if it comes into play this session or not.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know people.
Yeah.
What
I
is it,
hate
contested
people.
roll?
You'd have to do a contested roll, but I assume you're going to beat it. with your charisma.
Oh wait, I might be worse at that. That's right. I'm tired.
But you can do. Yeah, you just have to. You just have to do your.
22.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just
you win.
that bad. I did worse.
So that they know whatever you want them to know, essentially. So.
Yeah. I mean, everything I said was true, and the sword is attuned to me, and doesn't. I mean, I'm not gonna attack any of you. It still seems like I'm same old Kino, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you aren't?
Look, I honestly, I don't know what this sword does, but it seems like it has answers, and it seems to be powerful, and you just gave up.
Don't feel to attack one of us. Why don't you give us the sword?
Why don't I just hold on to it? Because you can't even use bladed weapons. You just don't want me to have nice things.
Speaking of which, I'll take mine back.
As it hears, so as the sword, okay, so this does come into play. As the sword hears you guys bickering between each other, the sword reaches out into everyone's mind in the entire group, and it says this: in the world of Greyhawk, only 9 of my brothers are known to exist. 10 swords, each patterned after the legendary sword Fragarak. You do not hear any of this, by the way, Kino. This is not to you. This is to everyone else. Which is variously translated as Final Sword. Each of my 9 brothers has its own name, and each bears a different gem in its pommel. That's all it says.
What's up, guys? Let's turn.
What was the name?
Hey, that's interesting.
The sword that it's modeled after, I can give it to you. It's Frag Arak. So Fragaraach.
And its name was Answer.
Answerer is its name.
Fragarak was the one they were modeled after. Answer is this sword's name.
Answerer is the sword's name. There's 9 others. Oh, so there's 10 swords total. Yeah.
And I'll just say to the opener, well, Answerer, if you wish to serve a paladin of Tiamat, I wish you the best of luck in your future.
Yeah. He does not answer back. No answer.
Can't hear you.
Apparently you can't hear it.
I don't need to hear it.
I mean, I use swords all the time without needing to hear them, so I mean,
Thank you.
so there's a point there.
I mean, you were so ready to take Henri's dragon bones, you didn't want her to predict the future. Why? I mean, maybe
never
you're just upset
asked
that...
to take.
Why are you always trying to take our stuff?
Yeah,
I don't know.
you just want to be the one with all the power. Well, I think this is a team effort.
You just want to take our stuff and destroy it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I think
I'm actually a little
I
impressed.
think brother's just concerned.
And
The sword does reach out to you in particular, brother, and it says, "Find my brothers or sisters." It says nothing else, and then after a while it says, "Find my brothers and sisters, and you can also wield one of us."
I won't visually acknowledge anything, but I'll take
Okay. Yeah.
It's apparently from a different land, so I don't know if it applies, but can I roll history if I've ever heard anything like this?
You can do it just to see. So if you have, it's going to be very, very high, and it's because you actually picked up a book, literally from like a merchant that had from some crazy luck had something in like Candlekeep because they were traded through some kind of like planar deal. That is the only way that you would know. But go ahead and roll, because on the off chance you get something higher than a 23, we can
no,
look at
a 19.
Yeah. Okay.
If I wasn't tired, I would have.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you guys did hear. You guys heard like things about Greyhawk. So you, at this point, you know that there must be something to the name. The sword's probably not lying. Like Greyhawk is a real thing because there's a book that Henri has about the histories of Greyhawk, and there were other references to Greyhawk in the Tomb of Horrors. However, understand that this is a dungeon with a sword from Greyhawk in a grate, underneath something that could be a giant gelatinous cube. And then, of course, there's, this thing from Eberron down here. So it's just very strange all around.
Yeah, because so far we haven't seen anything from any other worlds outside of the tomb.
Not only that, and not only that, this area is not protected. There's no guards. It's just strange.
It's interesting that it caught her eye and your, and it's from it.
Yep.
I don't know. It seems like it has certain people. It's like it's something to be wary of.
Where I'm from, if an item is sentient, it's either made with ill intentions or far worse than ill intentions.
Brother, you're a sentient item.
My point stands.
Well, there you go, and look, we all love you.
The only reason why I'm like this is because I travel planes. The others, like myself, where I'm from, are not as free.
Oh, lucky you're here then, and with us.
Luck is a strange thing.
Well, anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Grin's got a race.
Which knows has a race to win.
Yes.
Yep. So to get out of here, you will have to figure out the mechanism.
Oh no, Grin's got to give over the book if he wants to run the race.
It looks like it's just a valve that you can turn, Abel.
Okay.
When you go over and look at it again eventually.
I'm pretty curious
it
about
does seem to be controlled by probably water or liquid pressure.
Mhm.
And it's this piece over here.
So let's just take stock of how maybe we get out of here or to higher ground if things go bad. Before I turn this knob, I'll wheel, whatever.
You guys still hear me?
Yep, I hear you. Other people here?
I can.
Yep.
Oops. Hold on. You guys still there?
So like on top of the bridges would be a high point. maybe?
Sorry, Abel. I couldn't hear you for some reason. Say that
Sorry.
again.
I said, let us all just take stock of where up is in case this somehow raises the level of the water.
Yep. Yeah, of course. Yep.
Where we got the sword from, is it on the same side of the grate as this device is, or is there a barrier between?
No barrier. So the grate is now disabled. So the grate's down here when the stream catches up, and your still defender has taken this off. There's no more real grating here. It was able to take this off and go through it. However, the device to open this is right here, if you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there.
Okay. Whatever did that to it, it'd still be around. I don't know if that's an effect or a creature or what did that, but let's keep in mind if the water rises, maybe that thing's around us. Shall I?
I mean, is there really
Do it.
anywhere for us to go if the water rises? It's relatively flat around here.
Not really, but the idea is that this will so Abel was able to figure out that the water pressure here does move this structure, and he's already investigated it, and the structure does fold out and go all the way to the top, and there's another mechanical piece that opens with this. So what should happen is, as he does this, stairway will extend through these, basically just through a couple mechanical springs, and then this very complicated mechanical lattice work that just extends the stairs all the way up. As that's happening, the ceiling is also supposed to open so that you can get out of this place.
We won't need to find high ground because this is going to work.
Yep.
And I will start to turn the wheel.
Okay. The runes start to flash and glow, and then you feel the liquid going through the basically the cylinder on this side, and as you do that, it does actually work the way you thought it would, and it does slowly start to extend up. You're pretty impressed. This is pretty complicated, pretty detailed and intricate work. And as that happens, there's a staircase that goes all the way up. You guys can actually walk up into the city streets now, if you choose to.
I think I hear the city above.
I'm going to sheath the sword and
Yep.
ready to go up.
Okay. All right. So as you do that, let me get to the city real quick. Okay. So hold on one second, guys. Sing behind the curtain a little bit. All right. So as you do that, it does come up. This is part of the city of Luskin, and where is it?
Oh, do we want eyes to go first to scope it out and be stealthy? Or did we just open up a clockwork gate into the city?
So that's the thing. It's only a hatch. It's only a small hatch that opened up. And as you do, when the stream catches up, this hatch opens up into the city. So if Ice goes in first, he'll realize that no one's really looking. Like this is a pretty like remote area of the city. That's just in the middle. And I'll show you on the map where this is later. But it's very, very close to the temple. It's only like 6 blocks away from the from Urul's temple itself. It's in a poor part of the city.
I would relay that to eyes.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't all want to be spotted climbing up out of the sewers. Might be a bad look for us.
Well, the more important is we have to find a way to get through this area to the rest of these sewers, since the arcane gate was only one way.
That's right.
Well, wouldn't we just go through the way?
No,
We
he's going
wanna-
to start on that.
That's exactly right.
Oh, I
Brother's
thought we were
right.
going back to the palace.
Well, right, but what Brother's saying is that if, for whatever reason, you get out of this and it locks behind you, then this wasn't the greatest shortcut, if that's the case, because what he'll have to do is he'll have to run all the way on the other side where the ruins are, and then get in, which kind of defeats the purpose. So you just have to make sure that you guys can get back into this area once it's, yeah. But the more important problem is that the arcane gate is one way.
So, okay, I might have it backwards. So it's erased from the palace to the market.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I have it
Yeah, yeah.
backwards.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that's going to be interesting though is that if it does work though, for whatever reason, like if you can figure this out, then obviously it's perfect because it goes down. But you might have to do some more investigation because, like Brother is saying, he is right. Like the arcane gate was one way. So what would end up happening is, so everything is great. Grim's going to go down here. Let's say he can reopen this up or figure out how to reopen this thing. He's still going to be stuck down there because the arcane gate doesn't exist anymore.
Oh.
Right. So let's go back. So before you guys get
If we
there-
go around to the other side and try again, it'll be gone.
Well, so let me explain. Let me go back to the place and let me show you what
Basically,
Brother's
we
talking about.
entered the sewers the reverse way. We need to come from this entrance and get Grin across from where we came in. And the only
So-
we have to go back.
So, right. So here's where you guys are. Once the stream catches up, Grin's going to come back here. He's going to, where is Grin? So Grin's going to come back here. He's going to go down here, and he's going to go through here. And he's going to be like, well, fuck, like this sucks.
Yeah,
like
where's it gonna go?
yeah, like now I'm kind of trapped down here. Like there's nothing. Now, what Grin will also find out, and before you guys leave, you can do this. Grin, I assume you'll want to go through this anyway. But when someone goes down here, this is what it shows. So now you're on the other side of that grate. This is the problem. This is the real problem here. Now, what's interesting is as one of you does go through here, there are other ones of these that go up into the city, it looks like. But that's not really helping you at this point. You're still kind of trapped.
Hmm.
So if somebody wants to come back, so this is what you could do. Abel, you're the only one that could do this, so I'm going to have you go through and look. But Abel, since you understand this mechanism, if you want to come back here and take a look and do an investigation, so the same mechanism is here, here, and most importantly, here and here. So it looks like these mechanisms go throughout. So what he really has to figure out is, Grin has to figure out how to get from this place to this place.
Through that wall.
Yeah, go ahead and do an I'll give you this. Abel, go ahead and do an investigation check on these different things to see if you can figure out how this contraption actually works.
All right. Can someone help me with that?
I'll lead him,
Yep, go for it.
so you get advantage. Or at least a straight roll.
Yeah, that's.
So I'll give you guidance.
Oh, that's a 28 crit.
Wow. Okay. All right. So yeah, you figure this out, Abel. So this is how it works. So Gren, what's going to end up happening, or maybe somebody will come down with him, but basically you can manipulate this device. So this is going to have to be somewhat of a group effort, because you can manipulate this device, and actually as this one gets activated, you can basically make it so that each one of these through there's notches on this thing where someone able, it might as well be you actually, because you would be the most competent, so you're going to kind of have to help with this, and you're going to be able to basically lift each one of these up. But there's basically places on the top side where these lift you up into, and what you'll do is you will just have this one activated. So what Abel can do is he can bypass all of this and just run down into this piece here.
Okay,
So you're going to have to be here. You're going to have to come through and keep this last one activated. You'll come down here, you'll get down, and then you'll basically switch it so that instead of this one extending, this one's going to extend for Gren, if that makes sense. But you are going to be trapped down here until that goes through. Now you can figure this out, and you can just make this extend up for yourself as well. But this is definitely going to have to be a group effort, because multiple people need to be down here to make sure that this is the proper one that Gren gets.
If it matters, the combined total was a 30. If that pushes it to another level, just to.
Oh, gotcha. Now you've now figured out like expertly with this. The only thing that I will give you, the fact, I assume you got a nat 20 on it anyway, right?
I had a nat 20 with a 2 on the guidance plus my 8 skill. So
Right. Okay. All right. The only other thing that I will say is that this machine does take hydro power essentially from the liquid down below. So using it often could have unintended or harsh consequences, but you're pretty sure you can get this done in like 1 or 2 pulls, so you don't think it'll be an issue. But if you were to use this often, yes, there will be a side effect to this.
Okay. So we need to make certain that we're not using this before the race, and use it a minimal amount of pulls to get him through here.
Which you can do in 2. You figured out how to do this in 2. Someone who's not an expert at this, it might take 6 or 7 to like cycle through each one of the like contraptions that go up into the city, but you can do it in 2 personally. So if you relay that all to Gren, so Gren's going to basically so what you do is you're going to have to all double back, and I assume you take the time to do that, and you're going to find this outlet here, and then what's going to happen is you will go down first. You will go ahead and get everything calibrated. Grin will be up in the city waiting, and then you will open that one up so that essentially like the thing that kind of looks like a manhole, that'll open for Grin, and then he'll be able to start and run down here and get everything going. So it'll be like a team effort.
Okay. And we just need to make certain that we can defend these points versus, I guess, other passerbys.
That's the other thing that I was about to say, is that just keep all that in mind, because if another team or anything else comes into play, you are going to have to keep in mind like where you are and all that sort of fun stuff. That's exactly right.
I would say be down here hidden as much as possible.
Yep.
And if someone comes to use and activate them, stop them.
Yeah.
How spread out do we have to be?
So you have to be. So that's a great question. So let me show you. So you have to be here. Grin is actually going to be on top. Grin's going to be over. I'll show you. In the city itself. In another outlet, he's going to be in this area over here. And then when that gets down, Grin will be down by himself. He'll be the only one that can reach down there, unless anybody else is going to come with him in this area, right here. And then all Grin has to do at that point is run over the bridge, which you'll see when it fetches up. This door is already open. The other thing is you guys have made sure these doors are open, which is smart. If these doors get locked again or whatever, I mean, that would suck for Grin. He's not that great at unlocking doors or whatever. But right now they're all open, and there's no reason to think that they would be closed again. And then he would just run through the entire gauntlet as quick as he can. The one thing that Grin has to do is he does have to make it over these ironwood posts, and then all the way back up here. And then
you did put a guide rope across those posts.
That's right, you did. Yep. So it makes it even easier. That's right. Yeah, and this is going to have water in it too. So right to there. But yeah, but Grin would just come through this entire thing. So the other thing that's interesting is that there are now that you guys understand this contraption, and Abel, if you want to spend the time, you could do it well. There are these other like things that you could like put Grin up in, and they go to different areas of the city. However, you still think one of the best ones is still just going the way you came, coming through here. He's going to run up the stairs and go all the way up to this one. This one you can just climb up. This is where the ruins are on the map.
Okay.
Right here.
I will, if there's another advantageous one, like, I will like write up what the plan B is. Like if there's something that intercepts the path, the plan that we just, figured out.
Yep.
Come to this point and we'll make this happen.
Yeah.
It'll bring you to this part of the city.
Yep. Now, before I was going to say that's what I was going to suggest. I think that's probably like you guys should probably do a dry one this session, because we're not going to have time to do the entire thing. We might as well just do it in one shot, and then we'll just do the race for next session. But we should go over strategy in this portion now, because on the off chance that you do get attacked, or better yet, another team kind of gets a hold of you, or worse, maybe Zarn's team comes looking, like there's a lot of possibilities on shit that can go wrong. So you might want to think about where you guys want to actually go. Enable, at this point, you can use, so if you guys use teamwork and sending with Brother, you can figure out where all of these things, so each one of these, now that you've seen the map, each one of these is an outlet into the
Can
city.
Eyes follow Grin if he's want to do? And maybe, I mean, is he able to make like traps or that sort of thing? Or perhaps set up for someone else even?
I think he can. I'm almost positive he can do. Let's see.
Perhaps just in case someone's following Grin, we can. Put,
he can do sound. He can do sound traps no matter what. Yeah. He can do sound traps. I'm not. He can do improvised traps. I just don't think he. I'm pretty sure he can though. I'm pretty sure he can do the cow traps and stuff. So we'll see when he's back, but I'm pretty sure he can.
Be like Grin. Don't step here.
Yep. And if you guys want to take the time while you're down here to also reinforce those doors to make sure they don't close again, that's more than fair as well. Like get rocks and other things and like wood to make sure that the doors will not close on him, and make sure they're all unlocked.
Yeah, I will go wherever anyone needs me. I don't know if we want to stay together until we need to split up for safety. But
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do anything.
Now, the only other complication to this is we probably don't have enough time to do it this session, but there is also a bunch left that's unexplored. The only problem is if it's dangerous or whatever. But just keep that in mind as well. There's actually quite a. I'm like going through it now, brother. You've already done the artifact, so you guys can see the map. But there's quite a bit of this thing that's still left unexplored, including this area. Yeah.
Are there parts that brother feels concerned about from what he can see on the map?
I'll let you see it visually. So let's do this. So this is almost the entire map. This goes into. Oops. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
Oh, there's that prison-looking area. That would be the one thing I'm concerned about.
Yep, so there is that prison thing here.
We have to interact with that much?
And brother, since you did the map and it's super hard for me to go through too, there's a whole other level underneath this, which I'll show you for later. That whole other level is here. I'll just give it to you briefly since this is the real ruins underneath everything that you can eventually figure out how to get down to. There's just no obvious outlet to this, brother, but since you've done the artifact, you should at least be able to know that there is a whole other level. Yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out, because we sort of glossed over this, the slime kind of attacked everyone before.
Yes.
It reached out and sort of grabbed us.
Well, isn't that strange?
Well, I just want to make sure everyone knows.
It didn't attack us. It attacked the Steel Defender, right?
It's still the Steel Defender and the Familiar.
Yeah.
Things that were down there messing with the sword and the grate, yeah.
To keep that in mind.
That's why. So there's a bunch of complexity here. That's the other reason why we'll have to do it next session. There's just a bunch of complexity.
And one of you remind me why we're doing this race?
This is Jaraxel.
Yeah, because Jarlaxle wants to figure out like why they're doing this. So the person who gets to the top of the poll first gets an audience with the people running the race, which I assume includes questions about why they're doing it, which is what we want.
Yes, we need the motivation.
Yeah, to be clear, he was asking that in character.
So he doesn't kill people.
Exactly. The only, by the way, everyone would have noticed this, and you noticed this as well, Grin. But the horns no longer. There's no longer horns on Grin.
Oh man.
Yeah. No horns.
That's concerning.
Nope. No holes. No horns or anything.
It's concerning. You want me to have horns?
Kinda.
I'm concerned for you.
Do you still have the book?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So you physically, I mean, Grin, I don't know if you're hiding it or whatever, but the book is definitely still on Grin physically. So no horns though.
He put it away in his bag.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Do you feel okay?
I feel great.
Do I believe them?
Yeah, I might know
Yeah.
an insight check.
Go for it. Yeah.
Guiding myself.
Natural 20.
All right. What is yours, Grin?
I mean, I'm not lying about feeling great.
Right. No, go ahead and roll your insight anyway, though, and I'll let them see what they see. But go ahead and give me
I
your
got a
insight.
12.
Okay. And what's just roll deception on yours, Grin. Not that you're necessarily lying or anything. I just want to know what your roll is as well.
18.
Okay, so Grin is telling you the truth. He feels great. The only thing that you notice from your insight check, Kino, is Grin does seem like a tad smarter is the only insight that you get from this. Like he's a little smarter. He seems a little smarter and a little more keen, but he was not lying about feeling great. I assume that is correct, right, Grin?
Yeah, I feel great.
Okay.
Seeing that, she kind of, pats him on the back, and she's like, "You know what? I'm proud of you."
Yep.
Yeah, you would be.
Yeah, I am. And that's the truth.
Anri wants to be like, I'm proud of you too, but also she doesn't know how well it would come across if she was like, I'm so proud of you for being able to finish a book.
Well, we don't know if we finished it. We just started.
I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah,
proud of you for being able to read a book.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Am I able to read it? Is it in common?
No, so no, the way the book works, it's in its own language, and it conveys ideas to you and other things, but you're not, like, even though you're attuned to it, you're not fully in line with the book yet. It just gives you little bits of information. You're not able to read it like a normal book. You just study it.
It's a man of
Got great pictures.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, anyone else who reads it too, it's completely foreign. It's just a bunch of crazy symbols that don't make any sense.
I may be casting the wrong biases here, but I would try to peek over his shoulder at some point to see what it's reading.
Yeah.
And I do speak Infernal.
So at any point when you do, it's not actually an Infernal, and what you see is black script that looks like a bunch of triangles, circles, skulls, and other symbology, and it's constantly shifting and going through. It's in its own private language, but it's in a black glowing script that's constantly shifting or whatever. So you wouldn't necessarily even believe that Grin could read it. It's just a weird, like, yeah, it's definitely weird. It's very magical and very strange.
I think it's great.
Well, we're happy of you for reading this book, and it might be difficult, but we're proud of you. So,
Thanks.
yeah.
If he can read that, that's amazing. Can make no sense of that.
I'm amazing in many ways.
You are.
Oh, certainly.
So what is this race again? What am I doing?
Let's talk about the vocab bowl. I know we're winning right now, but I want to expand
so
our
much
lead.
is
Ash
happening.
County Middle School is closing the gap. So to motivate you, I've got this mess.
What has happened?
What do you remember?
No, I mean, we've been down here like all day, right?
This is Buck. Buck, the vocab mascot, to encourage you to do your bucking vocab.
What?
If you don't do your bucking vocab and we lose the vocab bowl, I kill the dog.
Huh.
Yeah, I can't keep track of these things. I just kind of follow you guys around.
Grin, what's my last name?
I don't know that I ever knew that.
Just look at the rest of the group. You know what? We're not gonna question this.
Not now.
I'll be honest. I feel like I've been down here all day. So.
Is it really so unusual that I haven't really been paying attention?
Yes, actually.
I just look Grin in the eyes. This is interesting. Hey, how are your feelings about gnomes?
They're great.
They're great. And remind me, what was the name of the clan that raised you?
Berrybeard.
Wow.
That is actually correct, by the way.
Yeah, I know it.
Well, no, I just wanted for Keanu to know that he's not lying. That is the name. Yeah.
Okay, so you remember stuff about yourself. And who did Jaraxel take hostage? Remember the big thing you were very emotional about? Who did he take hostage?
Come on, Tom, I believe in you.
Oh no.
I mean, Chris, do I remember that?
So. so, so the reality. So the reality is that you. So, do we remember? So do we remember who Draxel took hostage? The thing is, I can't like. It's only if you remember it. Essentially, I can't like cheat it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it is only. It's only if you. It's only if you remember it. The answer is that you. It's probably vague for you. You just might need time to regain memory and stuff like that. So the answer is probably not. It's probably going to take some time to regain your memory on all
I
this
mean, that
stuff.
was so long ago.
Excuse me? And he's gonna turn around and be like, that was not that long ago.
I'm just gonna.
Here's what I will say. Here's what you know for sure. It's going to take a couple days for you to regain memories of that stuff. So, from meta terms, it will take a couple days. You will be able to gain all this knowledge.
Okay.
Just look at.
But right now, you don't have it. Yeah.
Grin, what happened? Where is the cutoff in your memory? Are you feeling okay?
I feel great. I don't know what you guys are having a problem with.
I mean, some of your memory's gone. Did you take more brain damage?
No, it's just like the air down here is weird.
Oh.
Has Grin's mannerisms changed?
Is he like standing a little like more upright?
The only thing that's totally different about Grin from yesterday is the fact that Grin. There's a couple things that do stand out to you. Number one, Grin is a little more intelligent. He's a little more confident, and he has he's ever so slightly has maybe because of those two things. It might be an edge. It might just be something that you're going through. But and he seems a little stronger. But other than that, no. It seems like the exact same Grin.
I think I just need like a power nap.
Yeah, sure.
I think that you about it.
To take a nap?
Look,
I'd love a nap.
Grin, or whoever's in there, Grin. What we need to do right now is we need to make sure that this plan is solid and airtight so that you can run this race and win this race. Do you understand that much?
Yeah, I got that. I get it.
No, I know you do. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. And then we'll deal with the rest afterwards. And then tonight you can do that.
Yeah, and I sent you a message too, Tom, because I know this mechanic is confusing. So I sent you a message to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go up to Grin and just sort of pat him on the shoulder and say, I'm proud you've grown so much. And I'm gonna cast something.
Yep. Go for it.
Do I?
You can just message. No, probably not, because he's going to probably roll deception. But just tell me what your you don't have to take the group. Just
if you don't do your bucking vocab and we lose the vocab bowl,
Grin, you're not that good at this stuff. So we'll see. If you're under the influence of an effect, you do actually know, according to the roll. But we'll see what he casts and everything. Oh, gotcha. Yep, you're able to successfully cast that, and in this case, you would not know that this is being cast on you. And, brother, it seems successful, but doesn't seem to have an effect. But yeah. But you are able to cast this, yeah. And actually, Tom, in this case, you have no idea what he cast on you.
Okay.
But it was successful, brother. But does not seem to change anything with him.
I'll just pat him on the shoulder and say, the blessing of Tyr be with you.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Go with it.
So the party knows from meta perspective it won't change anything, but brother cast remove curse. It is successful. You did remove any curses he had on him, brother. Grin, you don't know this. The party doesn't know this, but yeah.
Grin, you mind if I see that book for a moment?
Why?
I'd just like to take a look over it real quick.
No, that's
Just
okay. I've seen what you do with books.
Yeah, you kind of burn them.
fair point. But I promise I wouldn't burn it.
Okay, well, that's fine. You can't have it though.
Yeah, Grin. So from a meta perspective, Grin, you're able to show him the book, but Grin, just like any artifact or whatever, you're not going to want to give it over. And brother, from a standard arcana, you would know that this is sometimes a common thing when it comes to sentient items. It just depends. Doesn't necessarily mean anything nefarious, but this is a thing. So, and Grin's giving you all those indications. So, given that you're already studying magic, you would know at least that much. But Grin, if you want to show him the book, you can, from a meta perspective, from a mechanics perspective.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, since I did break the curse,
Yep.
it does break his attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded.
Yep. Yep. That is correct. Yeah, because it's sentient. Because it's sentient, it has a direct connection with him. You could, if you wanted to, try to still go through this, but Grin's still going. Grin doesn't need to be attuned to this to have that connection. You'll see why later, but Grin is also not cursed.
Yeah, I'm great.
Mhm.
That's the other thing that should be the most telling part. But Grin is not cursed.
Oh,
You
I
would
don't know
know
why you guys are freaking out.
you would know that this was successful. Yeah, you would know that this was successful given that you cast it. You
I know
successfully.
it's successful, but there's just nothing there for it to remove.
That's right. That is correct. It all makes sense later, but now, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, you can open it for me. I'd just like to try to read the page for a moment. If you don't mind. You can
Yeah, I
hold
do
it,
mi- I do
don't
mind.
touch it.
I do mind. So no. Why don't we focus on what we were doing? Maybe later.
Very well. I respect your wishes.
Does remove curse tell you what curses it removes? By the way, I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to look up.
It's vague on that. It just says, at touch, all curses affecting one creature or object end. If the object is a cursed magic item, its curse remains, but the spell breaks its owner's attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So if it's a
So
sentient being
here-
not cursed, then
It's definitely not cursed. However, this is what I will give you because I think it makes more sense story wise and everything else. Let's say that. So let's say in this case it does, and we'll just play it like now when you do remove curse, you'll actually know if it's successful and what curses it removes. You just won't know the exact name of the curses.
okay.
You removed 4 curses from Gren.
Whew.
You removed 4 curses from Gren successfully.
Welcome, Tom.
oh my god.
However, so here's the thing, Tom. So Grin wouldn't have known that he was cursed or cursed himself, whatever, and there were 4 of them on you. But we'll deal with all that privately. But 4 of curses were removed,
Oh,
and
I feel even
everything
better.
is still the way, and everything is the way that it is. Tom has not messed anything up. This is exactly how it should play. So.
For once, Tom has
Yeah.
not messed anything up.
Yep. Yep.
Great. I feel stronger. I feel better.
Yep.
I feel fast.
Smarter.
Yep.
I don't know what smarter feels like, but I think I might be.
I mean, think is a pretty big word for this.
Oh shit, you're right.
But
I
but
thought-
Grin is, but you do know this too. Grin, that's the kind of difference here as well. Grin is more confident. He's a little smarter, a little more of an edge, maybe, but probably because he's confident and smarter. So maybe that's where the edge comes from. But whatever it is, that's the difference.
When he says he doesn't know what smarter feels like, I just like shed a tear for him. Though.
I'm having one of
Can't
those
even
edits for the
imagine.
pictures.
A thought? You're having a thought? It's called thinking, right?
Grin the thinkest.
Oh, never mind. We're back.
Oh, that wore off quick.
I kind of see all the drama here around the book. I'm like, he goes to race. They're probably not going to let him bring that, right?
Yeah, that could be problematic.
I'd say it's
Yeah, so Grin,
fairly high probability.
they are not going to let you with that book. They're not going to let you. You are going to have to put the book somewhere safe or trust it with one of them. But that book is not coming with you on the race. Or if it does, and they find out you're disqualified.
Do we want to have someone stand in for Grin?
It's too
What?
late
No,
for
I
that
can
now.
still run.
Oh, he had to register.
Well, so technically, brother, the only thing, I mean, you guys can say whatever you want, but the reality is that anyone, of course, could just sign up. There is no, like, time limit on it. Grin realized that when he was going up to it. Brother, you're not sure if you can run the race. You have to find out personally, but there would be, anyone can even sign up the day of the race. And Grin would know that. Grin, you can convey all this when you went up there, but that's the common knowledge of the race itself. So
I think we already
Are
established that
you-
right, because I don't feel cold.
that's probably correct. Yeah. Well, from a matter of perspective, that is correct. Yeah, that is correct. I just don't remember if we actually resolved that or not. The priestess would tell you though that because they would have to believe that you are not a metallic creature in order for you to be able to run this race. That is correct.
Rin, are you still willing to run the race if it means leaving your book behind?
As long as you all promise not to touch it.
I promise that I will not open
I
it.
promise not to touch it.
I won't even look at it. You could just put it in my
Have my
backpack.
word.
I would only touch it if it was in danger and someone was going to steal it or something.
I'll give my whole bag to Henri.
Okay, she takes it. It's probably like
Yeah.
twice as big as she is. I mean, she's been in there, so.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, cool. So yeah, so this is a good place to stop then. And so next session, I know we say this every session, but next session, I think it will be a good time to start the race and go from that. The only other things that you guys will have to decide in the next session before we start the race is that right now so this is in the morning and it's getting to be close to like 1 o'clock. So that means you have 2 hours before the race starts. You can, if you want to, decide to go ahead and scout up above. To map out each of these sides. Like you already know the underside of all this now. You can go ahead and map out the city, and then before we start, I am going to need strategically to know, and I think it'll be better with Johnny and Eyes here anyway, because we are going to need. This is the one time that we are going to have to really split the party, and if we do get into combat, it might be a little complex if that happens. So it'll be better with everybody here because there will be some things happening all at once, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. I look
Yep.
forward to it.
Yep, cool.
Oh my gosh, a lot happens.
By the way, there is a staggering amount of, like I said, in all the cities, you'll find this too. Like we haven't even scratched the surface on Neverwinter. There is literally a staggering amount of content in all the cities. This is like maybe 3% of Luskin. So, we'll see what happens. That's the one thing I want everyone to understand, though, is that you really do have any choice. Like, you don't necessarily have to go, obviously, to Icewind Dale right away, or even, technically at all. we could do entire sessions in Luskin if you guys wanted to stay here or whatever, or if you wanted to go to other cities. There's just as much content. I would just want to make sure that that's stressed. So, yeah. Cool. All right. Cool.
Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for staying late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of
I'm
course.
glad you feel better.
Yeah. I feel much better. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Talk to you next week.
Yep. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Have a nice Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah. You too.
You too.
Catch you guys later.
Yep. Yeah. Everybody have a nice Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Later.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Oh boy.
Tom, what the fuck?
I mean,
Oh boy. Love it. No, I'm all about it, Tom. You're doing great.
I don't know what the problem is.
I can't fucking believe that it wiped your mind.
Grid Berry Beard, the guy raised in a loving community of gnomes, sees nothing wrong with this.
I'm
Nothing wrong
so
with what?
happy. I'm so happy.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Everything's
This
great.
is turning into like a gentle
By the way,
body.
Anu has no clue what's going on right now.
This is wild.
Let me-
I did not
Should-
expect
should I
so
record-
many excitement.
Should I record this conversation as well, or?